October 26th. Metallica at the Dome at America Center for 2 dates, November 3rd and November 5th.
For tickets and info, hit up livenation.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Under Law Injury Lawyers.
Oh my gosh.
Birthday show.
There's too much happening today, and then Brad was inconsiderate enough to also have a birthday on this day, and so I don't know, it's gonna suck.
Gosh, shut up, Ryan.
Welcome
do
to the
pre-show.
show.
It's just too much.
All right. In light of Brad's birthday, today's YouTube live chat poll is asking of these options, which is the best decade of life? Your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, or your 50s? So vote in the poll and leave a comment of why you voted for the best decade of life and why you feel that way.
So we started at the 20s because I didn't want to assume if we went, there's not as many people who would be able to, like, oh, how are your 60s? Because if you're in your 50s, your 40s, you haven't lived those yet. So if you're in your 60s, you've done all the other ones. And I only get 4 options. So
I see.
Your 60s may very well be the best one yet, or your 70s, your 80s. But for the purposes of today, Brad's 40th birthday.
You only get to choose between those decades. So it's not as if we don't understand that there can be better ones. It's that you have to pick which one of those 4.
Limited.
I barely made it to be able to vote in this poll.
So you're clearly going to pick 50s.
Right. So we have a really fun guest at 12:25, close to the beginning of the show. Joe DeVito is going to be joining us. He's a writer, comedian, regular panelist on Gutfeld. He will be joining us. He's going to talk to us about the evidence piling up around the Bidens and how the media just isn't doing anything about it, and also some stuff with the border. He will be talking to us about at 12:25. Wiggins?
At 12:45, it is the bee or not the bee. It is one of our favorite segments of the week, because you get to participate in determining whether you think each story that I bring, each headline that I bring, is real, or is it from the Babylon Bee. Usually the story itself will give that away. Stick around for that at 12:25.
Here comes the part on Fridays where I demand questions from you guys. At 1:25, we'll do Ask Me Anything questions. So that's where you guys send in any question you have. It could be for just one person on the show. It could be for all of us, but we will answer those at 1:25. So send in your questions. It also is easier for me to find them if you do #AMA. That makes me look directly at it to star it. So we will be answering those at 1:25. Want to share who's going to be with us at X's and O's?
It's the Vitae Foundation. Nick Johnson and John Sinclair, both from Vitae. We've been working on this for quite a while, so we're excited to do this. It'll be a good X's and O's, just because we have new guests, and it's always fun to just mess with people, and we'll do that for sure with these guys. I think they know what's up, though. These guys know the show.
Yeah, they're fans of the show.
Yeah. So that's typical 2 o'clock. It's X's and O's. Got a good one for this week. I got a couple curveballs in there. I think we'll see how everybody handles them and hits them. And that's it. I think for you. Yeah, that's it. Back to you.
Yep. Once again, the YouTube live chat poll is asking of these options, which is the best decade of life? Your 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s? We are asking this in honor of Brad's 40th birthday, which we will be celebrating today. So make sure you wish him a happy birthday in the comments. He's a great guy. Super important to the show.
He's standing right here.
Yeah.
We don't know.
He forced me to say this.
Staring at her.
It's on this script right here. Just kidding. But yeah, vote in the poll, ask us questions, come along with us to celebrate Brad's birthday.
It's weird when you look up at the teleprompter and you see, celebrate me. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't even know we had a teleprompter.
Then Ryan's like, celebrate me. I'm all in.
Yeah. Okay, great. Super fun show.
All right, we got 1 minute and then we're getting going here.
Ask us questions. What is this? Is that for me or no?
I accidentally picked that up off the printer. That's nobody's.
It's a little bit of a twist to our Joe DeVito theme. Usually we book Joe DeVito.
Drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-399-9407. That's 800-399-9407. What do you have to lose? Call 800-399-9407. Again, 800-399-9407.
Long summer days call for extra hands. Hire fast with Indeed. Their hiring solution helps attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. There's a lot of breaking news happening right now in the last maybe 30 minutes or so, and we are going to bring it to you here in just a second. Attorney General Merrick Garland has appointed a special counsel in the Hunter Biden investigation. So in just a minute, we are going to hear from him and what he said regarding why this appointment was made. So before we get to that, a little acknowledgement that today we are celebrating Brad's 40th birthday. Tomorrow he turns 40, and so we want to invite you to come onto the Annie Frey YouTube channel and wish Brad a happy birthday. He's going to be reading those throughout the course of the show today. And the YouTube live chat poll, a little nod to the 40th birthday, which we're all kind of hovering around that specific age here, other than Hannah. She's holding down the Gen Z.
Oh, she's not even close.
Not even half.
Yeah, she's
21.
basically my daughter.
She could be.
I was going to say.
The YouTube live chat poll for today, of these options, which is the best decade of life? 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s? So we figured the majority of people who are listening and watching will be able to have experienced at least a portion of all of those decades, and we want to know your feedback, and we will read those throughout the course of the show. Anything about in your age of wisdom?
It is. It's going to be, I think the person that's going to benefit most from Brad turning 40 is me. Because the jokes about me being 40 just ahead of all of you are going to be harder for you. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm not saying you can't do it. You will do it. You will still find some way to make fun of me. Yeah. But now having Brad in the club of over 40, I just feel like
not over 40
anything.
yet.
I know. But when that happens, it's going to be a lot harder for you.
Tomorrow's the big day, and it will not be any harder for me than it ever was before.
No.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll always seek out your experience and wisdom.
There's a lot more wisdom that I have than anybody else in this show, for sure, because of my age.
You know, that's the true testament to how old you are, because they always say with age comes humility.
No, I don't think they do.
No, I think they do.
I don't think they say that.
I think that they do.
I think you're saying
with
that right now.
Experience and age.
I don't know, Brad. How do you feel about that?
He's
See
not there
how this
yet.
works now?
He's not there yet.
Brad, how will you feel about that?
Nah.
I couldn't tell you.
You can't provide wisdom and experience on something that you haven't done yet.
Yeah,
You're right. You guys are
wise
you
and
guys are
experienced.
right. You don't have the experience and the wisdom that I have.
That's
that is
for
correct.
sure. Yeah, we're all in agreement.
Mm-hmm.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. A.G. Garland appoints Hunter Biden investigator David Weiss as special counsel. Did you see this coming, and what does it mean? We're going to cover this story here right now. We've got a fun show ahead for you, X's and O's, with the Vitae Foundation folks, Nick Johnson and John Sinclair coming in with us. Ask Me Anything at 1:25. And Joe DeVito, writer, comedian, regular panelist, and I don't know if he's a producer of
I think he's
the
a
Gutfeld
writer
show.
for-
A writer for, yeah.
He's for sure a writer.
For Gutfeld. Love having Joe DeVito on, so he's going to be on in about 15 minutes. So let's listen in. Merrick Garland just came to the podium within the last hour and delivered this message regarding the Hunter Biden investigation. The Attorney General here. Listen in.
Counsel, consistent with the Department of Justice regulations governing such matters. In keeping with those regulations, I have today notified the designated members of each House of Congress of the appointment. In February 2018, after being nominated by the former president and confirmed by the Senate, Mr. Weiss was sworn in as the United States Attorney for the District of Delaware. Mr. Weiss had been a career prosecutor, having served previously in the office for more than a decade. Beginning in 2019, Mr. Weiss, in his capacity as U.S. Attorney and along with federal law enforcement partners, began investigating allegations of certain criminal conduct by, among others, Robert Hunter Biden. That investigation has been recently referenced in federal criminal proceedings in the District of Delaware, and as noted in those proceedings and other public statements by Mr. Weiss's office, that investigation remains ongoing. In February 2021, U.S. Attorney Weiss was asked to remain as U.S. Attorney for the District of Delaware and, in that capacity, to continue to lead the investigation. As I said before, Mr. Weiss would be permitted to continue his investigation, take any investigative steps he wanted, and make the decision whether to prosecute in any district. Mr. Weiss has told Congress that he has been granted ultimate authority over this matter, including the responsibility for deciding where, when, and whether to file charges, and for making decisions necessary to preserve the integrity of any prosecution consistent with federal law, the principles of federal prosecution, and departmental policies. In a July 2023 letter to Congress, Mr. Weiss said that he had not to that point requested special counsel designation. On Tuesday of this week, Mr. Weiss advised me that in his judgment, his investigation had reached a stage at which he should continue his work as a special counsel, and he asked to be so appointed. Upon considering his request, as well as the extraordinary circumstances relating to this matter, I have concluded that it is in the public interest to appoint him as special counsel. This appointment confirms my commitment to provide Mr. Weiss all the resources he requests. It also reaffirms that Mr. Weiss has the authority he needs to conduct a thorough investigation and to continue to take the steps he deems appropriate independently, based only on the facts and the law. Mr. Weiss will also continue to serve as U.S. Attorney for the District of Delaware. As special counsel, he will continue to have the authority and responsibility that he has previously exercised to oversee the investigation and decide where, when, and whether to file charges. The special counsel will not be subject to the day-to-day supervision of any official of the department, but he must comply with the regulations, procedures, and policies of the department. Consistent with the special counsel regulations, at the conclusion of Mr. Weiss's work, he will provide me with a report explaining the prosecution or declination decisions reached by him. As with each special counsel who has served since I have taken office, I am committed to making as much of his report public as possible, consistent with legal requirements and department policy. Today's announcement affords the prosecutors, agents, and analysts working on this matter the ability to proceed with their work expeditiously and to make decisions indisputably guided only by the facts and the law. The men and women undertaking this investigation are public servants who have dedicated their careers to protecting the citizens of this country. The appointment of Mr. Weiss reinforces for the American people the department's commitment to both independence and accountability in particularly sensitive matters. I am confident that Mr. Weiss will carry out his responsibility in an even-handed and urgent manner and in accordance with the highest traditions of this department. Thank you.
So the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, has made this announcement that there is an appointment of a special counsel in this case. And we're going to go now to Jonathan Turley's reaction to this announcement shortly after the Attorney General spoke. Let's listen into what Jonathan Turley had to say.
I was not surprised, but I was not nearly as delighted as I would have been 2 years ago when many of us were calling for this appointment. They waited for the appointment of a special counsel after the statute of limitations has run on critical crimes like the tax violations in 2014, 2015. They waited until Weiss himself was accused of slowing or suppressing efforts. At least the whistleblower suggested that he was not able to pursue cases and didn't aggressively push back on that. So there's going to be a lot of questions here. This is occurring as Congress is moving aggressively to pursue some of these issues. This new status can certainly slow that process down. Weiss was at the top of the list of Congress to be brought in to explain, why did you allow the statute of limitations to run? Why were Biden people tipped off about raids? Why was there an interference with investigators in trying to interview Hunter Biden? All of those questions are now likely to be delayed before they are answered. The other thing that I noticed was not in this announcement was a special counsel to look into the Biden corruption scandal. He referred to Hunter Biden once again. Garland has constantly been carefully framing this issue as only Hunter Biden.
Exactly.
Congress is looking at a much broader and more significant corruption scandal here. A special counsel would be useful in pursuing that. But that doesn't sound like the mandate that Merrick Garland just gave Weiss.
Jonathan, two questions for you. You know, we've seen two molds in the special counsel. You've seen the Jack Smith special counsel, which has been robust and very public and rather rapid. And then you've seen the Robert Hur one looking into the Biden documents, which has been notably more quiet. You have said perhaps Robert Hur's face belongs on a milk carton because we haven't heard a lot from him. So in what mold do you think this David Weiss special counsel will fall, number one? And number two, does this provide any sort of impediments for the congressional investigation into Hunter Biden and the Biden family?
Well, I think that's the concern. The initial concern is whether Weiss is damaged goods. You usually appoint a special counsel who will satisfy all sides, that this is someone who doesn't bring any baggage to the question, who can resolve these issues. These whistleblowers were critical of Weiss. You know, Weiss has suggested that he always had this authority. The whistleblower said that he said the exact opposite to staff. They've suggested he allowed statute of limitations to run. That has not been the suggestion of the Department of Justice. So the reappointment of Weiss is going to raise some questions. As for the congressional investigations, there's no question that making him special counsel will now make it more difficult for Congress to get answers from him and from this investigation. Right. It is not likely to deter Congress, however, particularly if they're shifting towards an impeachment inquiry. And once again, it goes to what is the mandate here? This goes beyond Hunter Biden. They've already allowed critical crimes to expire. Now, for Hunter Biden, this is obviously a chilling moment. You know, his counsel told the prosecutors in open court, quote, just rip it up. Now, I got to tell you, as a criminal defense attorney, if I ever said that to a prosecutor in open court, my client would be toast. They would just say, well, that's fine with us. We'll hit you with everything we've got. So the question is whether Weiss is going to follow that standard response and say, all right, let me introduce you to my friend called Farah. And you'll have an indictment as a foreign agent. And I'm also going to take a look at some of these other crimes. That's the cost of ripping up a deal in open court.
So we've been listening to Jonathan Turley reacting to the news that the Attorney General Merrick Garland has appointed this special counsel. Fox News reports that Weiss is the federal prosecutor who has investigated the business dealings of Hunter Biden and brought charges against him in Delaware. His appointment as special counsel indicates, contrary to Biden's defense lawyers' claims, that the Justice Department investigation into President Biden's son is not over. So we will continue to follow this story as it continues to break. A lot of people reacting to it at this time. We're going to break for a moment right now, and when we come back, Joe DeVito, who is a regular panelist on Fox News' Gutfeld show, he's a writer, comedian as well, joins us once again to break down the latest craziness that's taking place in our world and to talk to him about how guilty does Hunter Biden have to look before people start saying in the media, yeah, maybe we should cover this. Joe DeVito, when we come back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Has anyone seen Roger? Where's Roger? It's time to open the jewelry store.
Where is everyone?
Did they all take the day off?
At traditional jewelry stores everywhere, employees are quiet quitting and going to Diamonds Direct. Not just to work, but to shop. That's because even with employee discounts, Diamonds Direct offers all shoppers better selection and much better value. As a true direct importer of diamonds, Diamonds Direct has long-standing relationships deep in the world diamond industry, as well as the best diamond cutters across the globe, so they can say the quiet part out loud without the middleman markups. Diamonds Direct offers customers bigger, higher quality diamonds at a lower cost every day. Not to mention the best selection, the best customer service, best warranties, and best overall experience.
Hello.
Quiet quit paying too much for your diamonds. Go to Diamonds Direct. You won't be alone in how happy you are. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get details, directions, showroom hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Summer's just getting started. Still need your air conditioner checked? Schedule your HVAC system check for only $54. This is a limited time offer. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here, and so are St. Louis's conservative thought leaders. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
This was all you, none of it me. You put your hands on my body and told me. You
People sometimes say, why are you doing that? Imagine if for a long time Roosevelt and telephones came along and said, we're not going to help invest in telephones. Come on, man. I don't know what the hell we're thinking.
Man, the writers that exist in the Saturday Night Live world can't make jokes about this because the joke is itself. Just the other day, Biden said something about, can you imagine Jefferson wanting to overthrow the government? And you're like, literally, I don't even have to imagine it. It did actually happen. But yet here we are, and nobody calls him out on it. Let's get to our next guest here. Joe DeVito joins us, writer, comedian, regular panelist on Fox News Gutfeld. Joe, welcome back to the show. You're usually on here when we have new Trump indictments. This time, it's a special counsel, so we're going to kind of put it in the same category.
It does. It's a very special counsel. It's like an episode of Different Strokes where you learn something.
You know, let me ask you this question regarding Hunter Biden. He couldn't possibly, he's got like the chocolate from the chocolate chip cookies that he's been stealing all over his face. And everyone's like, I think he's totally innocent. Tomorrow is my producer Brad's 40th birthday. And I was looking for birthday cards for Brad. Why is it that Joe Biden's face isn't on any birthday cards? Because I remember a lot of Clinton ones and a lot of George W. Bush ones. Where are the jokes about Joe Biden?
Well, I wouldn't want Joe Biden's face on a birthday card because what better reminder would there be of the ravages of age and the cold hand of death on your shoulder?
Look how far you can go, Joe Biden. I mean, are we not supposed to laugh about this president because it seems as though he's untouchable?
Yeah, it's really strange because even that quote you were just playing with him talking about the invention of the telephone, completely unaware of any ironies that, oh, is this a telephone that is invented so you can be on a speakerphone call with your son's Russian and Chinese and Ukrainian oil exec friends? So, yeah, he's really losing it. And as far as what you're saying about Hunter, just how guilty does he have to look? Because look at his personal life. You've got drugs, guns, strippers, baby mamas. There are rappers who would kill for that bio.
It's so true. And it just seems as though we're all supposed to hone in on this idea that, you know, Joe Biden is such a loving father. He loves even Hunter Biden. And then that's at the top of his resume list for re-election. You think this guy's actually running for re-election right now?
That's the crazy thing. I was listening to Roger Stone, who outlined the way he would see it would shake out so that we would end up with Michelle Obama running for president. And, at a certain point, you have to think, is this a conspiracy theory or a pretty good theory as to what could happen? Because I don't see how they drag Joe Biden across the goal line again. I just don't see how he's physically capable of it.
Yeah, and I don't either. And then you look at what the Democrats might have to offer after that. Kamala Harris isn't exactly a step in the correct direction. What do you think about the Democrat Party right now and what they will have to offer the American people that the American people are going to want to hear and go, yeah, that's what we've been looking for?
Yeah, I think they'll have to do better than we're not the other guy. I know it worked for getting people out to vote against Trump before because people have the Trump derangement, although they would vote for anyone. It really is. You can't just say theoretically they would vote for anyone against Trump because I believe that's what happened last time. That's why they voted for Joe Biden. There's no way you could look at Joe Biden's record for the million years he's been in Washington and think that guy's done a great job. He's the epitome of the swamp creature who's just been around gathering influence, selling it. So I don't know what they'll have to do. The guy I'm really afraid of is Gavin Newsom.
Joe, I want to ask, just because of your background being a writer and comedian, this is Ryan, by the way, you're having to write jokes about political events, current events all the time. As we're talking about these candidates, I'm sitting here going, I wonder for a guy like you, is it equally difficult to write jokes about Trump and Biden, or is it easier? Do these guys make it easier for jokes or harder?
I think they make it pretty easy compared to Trump because I think one of the problems we saw, take, for example, SNL and how lame it's become over the past couple of years, that the way you make fun of someone, usually you exaggerate them. And that was one of the amazing things about Trump. What could you exaggerate that he wasn't already on his own throwing at you 150%? Right. So you can see it. Even the terrible impersonation Alec Baldwin did. That well, one thing we've known about Alec Baldwin, he does not hit the mark in more ways than one. But there was no. You have to have some affection for the person you're doing the impersonation of, and they just it's hard to describe. I think they looked at Trump the way they look at any Republican, where they just say, well, this person is automatically all the worst things I can imagine. And that doesn't translate to humor because there's not a lot of truth in that.
We're speaking with Joe DeVito. He's a writer, a comedian, a regular panelist on Fox News Gutfeld show. We love watching that show. What do you think the importance is as we march closer towards the election, as we see the Republican primary shaping up? We're talking a little bit about the Democrat side right now. Donald Trump is alluding to the fact he's not going to debate. He's going to maybe do something else. He's not going to join that stage. How do you feel that the Republican Party is presenting itself as a whole with this variety of different candidates, trying to answer that question that Americans are asking themselves? Can we do better than what we have right now?
Well, I've been asking that question for a couple of elections now. I maintain that we would do better with some sort of lottery that you get in the mail, and then it's like jury duty, and you have to be president for 4 years. Because I can't believe that these are consistently the best people we're putting forward. All I would say is everybody got to pace yourselves. Don't get too outraged. Don't get too excited, because there's a lot of craziness that's going to happen on the way there.
Joe, what do you think about the third-party candidates? I mean, people are talking about Cornel West a little bit as Green Party, and there's always going to be a Libertarian. But now it's about this middle party that could exist. I mean, what do you think about this?
Yeah, well, what could be more exciting than something called the middle party? Right. I heard they're going to give none of the above a run for their money. Yeah,
but that's a real option, isn't it?
I guess. I mean, I'm a big fan of chaos, and that when people talk about gridlock, I'm so in favor of gridlock, because anything that screws up the political process means less opportunities for these people to have to interfere with our lives. So, yeah, if there were some sort of middle party, I would like to hear from them. I don't know who that. I mean, are they saying that's going to be RFK or who else? But see, I feel like we almost need some sort of coalition government to keep the two parties in check. We need the constant chaos. It's our only hope.
What do you think about Joe Manchin, who's flirting with the idea of switching parties? I think that he knows how to say something that grabs the headlines and the attention. And even if he causes a little acid reflux for the Democrat Party right now, he can consider that a good day. But do you look at a guy like Joe Manchin and think that there's something to him that maybe is good for the future for this country?
I don't know if this is a flirtation. He's proceeding at a Victorian romance level. It's like, let's go here. Either change parties or don't. So I think he's an interesting case because he's not really coming out with any radical right-wing policies that he's in favor of. Everyone gets mad at him on the Democratic side because he's pretty reasonable and he's open to discussion and changing his mind. But I don't know. I think it's kind of unfortunate what happens. I mean, look what happened to Kirsten Sinema, who was an interesting person. I think she votes her conscience. And once you turn your back on the liberals, they go crazy. I mean, you remember how she was the poster girl for them with her wild outfits, and now they're really trying to run her out of town. So I wish Manchin luck. It's a tough call when people switch parties, because a lot of times it's the machine that helps get you into office.
We're speaking with Joe DeVito here. He's a comedian, a writer. You are always trying to assess, I would assume it's not just news, it's culture too. And you're trying to find a good laugh in it. Do you think it's, I don't know. I look at the world right now, and there's a lot of people who are incredibly forlorn about what is going on in the world right now. People don't feel economically that their personal economy is doing better than it used to. It's a struggle for some. Do you find it easier, harder right now to find the laughs in the world today?
I think you have to. I mean, if you look at, and it's very hard to prepare for the future. I know I screwed up. I saw those commercials for putting all your money into gold. I put my money into bronze, which turns out was not the smartest move.
For a deal.
Yeah, it was a discount.
Yeah. Well, I could just tell you from my own perspective on being funny. I don't really talk politics in my act, because I feel like the people who come to see me, They want to get away from the 24-hour drumbeat of that. And this is an interesting thing I've noticed, that fans of a liberal comedian go to hear liberal comedy, but fans of a more conservative or libertarian comic, they come to just laugh.
Yeah.
They don't come to a rally.
Yeah, it seems like there's an extra burden on the outrage culture that if you're not always in a state of outrage for something, that maybe your virtue might be in check, and maybe you might be feeling like there's a cause out there that I need to be, indignant about. That seems like a very punitive lifestyle to live.
Yeah, well, I think we've seen it in that a lot of things that people on the left are outraged about, you want to tell them that, you already won this fight. You already got the thing that you wanted, but then they move on to the next thing to be upset about. So it's a way to keep yourself in a constant state of agitation, because the more outraged you are, the higher social capital you acquire. I think it's also because these are people who don't build businesses. They don't create. They've lost touch with what it takes to go in, have an idea, work hard, and implement it. If you do that stuff, you don't have time to complain constantly, because you're hustling to improve your life and the lives of people around you.
Yeah.
But if you just want to complain all the time, you can always find something to get mad about.
Well, Joe, we want to give you an opportunity. You're traveling the country, and I know you're stationed there in New York. Anything you want to promote for folks who are listening right now to tune in and check out, maybe at Joe DeVito Comedy on Twitter?
Yeah, at Joe DeVito Comedy on social media, and I've got some shows coming up with some comics that people know from the Gutfeld and other shows like that. I'm going to be performing with Michael Loftus in Denver on August 25th and 26th. But most importantly, coming back to St. Louis to the Westport Funny Bone, November 30th through the rest of that weekend.
Perfect.
So keep checking. I'd love to see you and your fans come out.
Yeah, we'll get you here in studio if we can work it out for you to come join us back here in the 97.1 studio on November 30th in St. Louis. Get your tickets. Are they available right now? Can people buy tickets right now?
Yeah, I think so. They go to the Funny Bone website, sure.
Okay. Well, we will continue to promote that and get that a packed house, and we'll do our best to try to make a show as well. Joe, it's always great to talk to you. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks a lot. I'll see you soon.
Yep. Bye-bye. He is the writer, comedian, and a regular panelist on the Fox News Gutfeld show, friend of this show, and it's been great to connect with him. I love watching these guys come to St. Louis, and they kill it, and they sell out every show. St. Louis has made a real impression in a lot of these comedians' lives, because they're traveling all over the country, and it's going to be a different bag in every country every city that you go to.
Yeah. And the nice thing about a lot of times they come in studio right before a show, which is always fun.
Yeah.
When you say in August, it's November 30th, not a lot of people can look at their watch and be like, oh, shoot, I got something that day.
Mm-hmm.
That's far out enough that you can plan for that show.
Yeah, we'll try to do the same here. Maybe we'll be able to attend a show as well. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Wiggins America, the bee or not the bee? We'll find out what stories and headlines are real and which ones are just really funny. The YouTube live chat poll, the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Go visit us there. Say hi to Brad when you were on there, because tomorrow is his 40th birthday. We're celebrating that today. The YouTube poll, and we want your comments on this, your advice of these options. Which is the best decade of life? Was it your 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s? Let us know what you think. Vote in the poll. The bee or not the bee when we come back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. August is a great month to help out the environment by improving your gas mileage. Make sure your tires are properly inflated and heavy items like golf clubs aren't stored in your trunk. Take your car in for a tune-up to ensure it's running at peak performance. And when the weather is nice, walk or bike to your destination to enjoy a beautiful summer day. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness 101 for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness 101. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all 3 with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
I've been taking Nutrafol 4.5 years.
My hair was thinning.
I was under a lot of stress.
I like Nutrafol because it's drug-free and the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement.
My hair feels thicker,
stronger.
Nutrafol has taken me back to the hair I was meant to have.
Join the 1 million people growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Paid for by Nutraceutical Wellness, Inc.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands to treat ED at up to 95% off. That's right, the same active ingredient as the brand name for 95% less. It's the same ED medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
The warmth of your furnace, the coziness of your gas fireplace, warm cookies from the oven, and a hot shower after a long day. This winter, take time to appreciate the gas that powers your home. Gas is flammable and can become dangerous if there's a leak. This message from the Missouri Association of Natural Gas Operators.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health from Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health from Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill, or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
Coming up at 1:25, Ask Me Anything. Get your questions in on the Annie Frey Show YouTube page or anywhere we're streaming. Get your comments in there and let Hannah know that it's an Ask Me Anything question. If you don't, she's going to have that look, and you don't want to see that look. Get on the live stream and make sure that you don't have to see that look. That didn't make any sense. 12:42. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Fact-checking the mainstream media daily.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You found it here. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. 40th birthday for Brad Range tomorrow. How do you feel about turning 40, Brad?
I'm trying to figure out which stage of grief I'm in. I think
Is
I'm
that
in
how
the,
you feel?
Yeah, I think I'm in the acceptance now.
Okay.
You know, there's the bargaining things like maybe I could stay young forever, but that's not even realistic. And then it's sad. But now I'm in acceptance. This is fine. I'm going to be in my 40s. I'm going to be the best 40-year-old you've ever seen.
In this room.
I hope.
Let me tell you, there's stages that you haven't even got to yet. One of them is sadness, and I'm in that one now. because of that
I'm
comment.
past that one.
That was denial.
Let's get to Wiggins America.
The Bee or not the Bee.
All right.
These are stories from the week, and some of them are real headlines. Some of them are from the Babylon Bee, which is a satire website. What I'm going to do is read the headline. You have to tell me whether you think it's real or not. Here you go. First one. King Charles called on to release the truth on UFOs, prepare religious for impact of ET life.
Say that again.
King Charles is called on to release the truth on UFOs and prepare the religious for the impact of ET life.
I'm going to say that's real.
I'm going to agree with Annie on this one. I think that one's real. That was too specific.
B.
Nick Pope, the former head of the UK's UFO program, also proposed the idea that aliens could even have their own religious beliefs and gods they worship. Quote, what if the aliens brought their own crazy gods? Something that we would regard as just weird and crazy.
Is it?
No, it's real.
Oh, no!
Yes, it's real.
I've never played that wrongly yet.
You're right. You're even right about being wrong. Unbelievable. It's amazing.
I can imagine that's super annoying.
It is. It's terrible. Here's the quote is just insane. That's why I pulled this. What if the aliens brought their own crazy gods, something that we would regard as just weird and crazy? Would they impose them on us? He said. These are the questions we might have to face. Just getting you ready.
I do not buy into the idea that if aliens exist, that is a religious conflict in any way, shape, or form. God, we didn't say God created Earth. We said God. I believe that God created the universe.
Right.
So,
yeah,
ET as well.
It would be fascinating, but I like that he's going all in on. Okay, the aliens are coming.
Yeah.
B, they're going to have their own different crazy gods. And C, they're going to impose them on you as our overlords. That's what Nick Pope, the former head of the UK's UFO program, said.
I'm a little worried about what atheists are going to do with that. Because, like, if aliens come here, surely they've intellectually passed beyond the need for gods or whatever the atheistic line is.
Uh-oh. They still believe?
They still believe? What's wrong with me?
And they said it's Jesus? That was weird. All right. The next one. I actually just wrote a sketch about that the other day. That the aliens show up and they go, yeah, it's Christianity. And everybody goes, oh. Democrats say it'll take a lot more than eyewitness testimony, bank records, audio, video, complete confessions for them to believe Biden did anything wrong. Yeah.
I saw that one.
I was hoping this one would be obvious.
Yes, the B.
It's the B. Quote, nah, I'm not buying it, said California Congressman Eric Swalwell. If you're wanting me to believe President Biden and his family have been involved in far-reaching money-for-favor schemes for years, you'll need to show me a lot more than rock-solid, irrefutable evidence. If the Biden family was corrupt, I think I would have heard about it from my Chinese spy girlfriend. Unquote. Next one.
Man, Swalwell, I can't think of anything that he's like super known for that is flattering.
No. You know what's funny about Swalwell? You have a microcosm of politicians and what you know about them, like through the chatter, in one guy. Because some politicians, they fart on camera, and you go, that's the only thing I ever knew about that guy. But with him, not only did he do the one weird, dumb thing that you're like, why does that have to define your career? To actually sleeping with a Chinese spy, which is really, really bad. And that should define a career, but he's got both of them. He's got the little ones and the big ones.
And he farted.
Yeah, and he farted. All right. Biden vows to sacrifice as many Ukrainian lives as it takes to defeat Russia.
Ooh.
Say it again.
Biden vows to sacrifice as many Ukrainian lives as it takes to defeat Russia.
That's got to be the B.
I'm going to say the B as well. That's just cutting enough to be the B.
I'll say the B.
Quote, as president of America, I am willing to sacrifice as many Ukrainian lives as it takes, said Biden. We will keep using Ukraine to fight a proxy war until an entire generation is dead and all of my money is laundered. You have my word.
B.
That is the Babylon B. Although it's not too far, right?
Well, that's why they're genius.
That's right. Next one. Chicago mayor says that due to negative connotations, we should stop using the word Chicago.
I feel like that's real. I feel like
Once
that's
again,
real.
Brad and Annie, is it real? Chicago mayor says that due to negative connotations, we should stop using the word Chicago.
This is a tough one. This is the B, and it is based off of his anger when somebody talked about the mob action that was taking place in downtown Chicago because people were mobbing outside. And he's like, hey, we don't talk about the mob here.
Yeah.
So this has to be the B.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Annie on this one. It's the B.
I think it's real.
Annie's assessment is exactly correct.
Okay.
It is based on that story. Yeah, that story was crazy.
Yeah, what was he? I mean,
Of any given day, I can't believe like how many things happen, but that was one of them.
I'm going to admit, as somebody who speaks publicly for 15 hours a week, that sometimes you say things and you go, oh. And I always wonder if in that instance, what he was hearing, he was thinking it was like the mob, the capital T, capital N mob. And this reporter was just, people are mobbing the streets downtown.
Yeah.
This is different. But why was his mind there?
I don't know. It was like he was wanting something to complain about. Like, no, you're framing this wrong. You have to let me frame everything. You stop that. But what he said was, that gave you a little glimpse as to what he was thinking, was that he said, these aren't a bunch of little mini Al Capones out there. Like that he was thinking of just the mob, the mafia mob, that you couldn't use that word to talk about a group of people in any other context other than like the mafia, the Sopranos mafia. Here's the story itself from the Babylon Bee. You can call it the Windy City or downtown deep dish, but do not under any circumstances call it Chicago, said the mayor of Chicago. That just wouldn't be appropriate. The city formerly known as Chicago has been under particular strain as of late due to large mob-like gatherings disrupting business with loot-like behavior. Mayor Brandon hopes that calling the city literally anything else will cause the problem to go away. Quote, there's history in this city. I don't want to be responsible for the birth of any more baby Al Capones, Brandon said.
Jeez.
Only by
Can you imagine them all attacking and rioting on Michigan Avenue in Chicago, but they're all in like 3-piece suits and hats and canes?
It'd be like baby geniuses, but they all have gats. Only by hiding our problems with inoffensive language can we truly overcome them. Yes, that was the B.
Yeah.
Louisiana loses award-winning pediatric surgeon to homophobia.
Sounds real to me.
Yeah, it sounds real.
It is real. It says Dr. Klein Mahone, a top pediatric cardiologist in Louisiana, is leaving the state with his husband and kids after lawmakers recently passed legislation targeting the LGBTQ plus community. Louisiana's governor, John Bell Edwards, who's a Democrat, vetoed almost all of the bills targeting the LGBTQ plus community, but the Republican-controlled legislature overrode the veto on one measure, which puts restrictions on sex changes for adolescents. And that is enough for this pediatric surgeon to flee the state. By the way, it says gender-affirming care for people under 18. I said restrictions on sex changes for adolescents, since that's what it is. But I wanted to be clear, because I always say I pulled directly from the article, and I changed that line just for clarity. All right, next one. Got two more here. DoorDash now offering pickle jar opening services for single women.
I want this to be, it sounds almost like an escort service.
B.
Listen to me. Hear me out here for just a second. Just 1 second. We did a couple weeks ago a story about how women in 2023 were taking their boyfriends to Barbie so that they could have them pass a litmus test afterwards to make sure that the men that they were taking to see Barbie really understood the patriarchal message that was being sent by Barbie. And should these gentlemen not understand what was supposed to be taken away from Barbie, that's how you knew if you should keep dating them. I think this is a great way to profile men. This is better than the Barbie one. Have them.
Is it real?
If you could come and open the jar of pickles for you, as a good step.
I kind of agree. Like if I were a single man or woman, I might participate in this.
Would you consider not being able to open up a jar of pickles a deal breaker?
If I try to open it and I can't open it, and then
Some guy comes and goes,
and then I hand it to him, and he's like, "Man, I can't get this open." If when he hands it back to me, I then can open it. Deal breaker. And then the guy goes, "Oh, I had to loosen it for you."
Yeah, that'd be an ick for me.
I would be interested in seeing the level of commitment to getting the jar of pickles open. I don't care how you do it, but I'd like to see the commitment. This has got to be the B.
It is the B.
Yeah.
It is the B.
Pickles.
DoorDash isn't the only company making their foray into helping single women with services typically provided by husbands. In fact, all major food delivery services are diving in. Uber Prints, single female, can't get your printer to work? Let an Uber Prints certified man get that printer spitting out those backed up recipes for one. Postmates, trash. As a single woman, down in heaps of kitchen rubbish is no longer, and let Postmates trash agent haul it out all for you. For a nominal fee, he'll even drag the trash bin out to the street for you.
Scooter says, "Can you come over and open a pickle jar?" Sounds like a booty call. And I am agreeing with Scooter on this one.
I agree too. Last one. Report record number of people following their hearts.
Sounds like something real from like People magazine.
B. It's the B.
I'm saying that sounds real.
People are just being true to themselves. Why is everything so terrible? Said lead researcher Tim Scottdale. It's almost like there is some innate depravity in the heart of man. It's very surprising. It's the B. Researchers had hypothesized that more people following their hearts would naturally lead to utopia breaking out. Quote, "We believe that all people were fundamentally good and the problem was simply bad societies that prevented people from expressing their true selves," said Dr. Scottsdale. According to sources, researchers realized they hit a snag when they were explaining to a violent anti-Semitic psychopath that he should simply follow his heart. Quote, "That's when it dawned on us that there really is this awfully familiar or similar famous guy that followed his own heart, and his name was Hitler."
No!
Oh, man.
Hitler reference.
Yeah, it says, in fact, Hitler was one of the most committed people of all time to following his heart. We realized we may have made a slight miscalculation. At publishing time, researchers stated that their latest results now seem to indicate that no one is good, not even one. Further, they recommended purposefully not following one's heart, as the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked.
Oh, my gosh. All right.
I love that one.
Good segment. The B or not the B. Appreciate you hanging out with us this afternoon on a Friday afternoon. We're celebrating Brad's 40th birthday today, so join us on the YouTube live chat. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and we're broadcasting live there. And deliver a birthday greeting to Brad and vote in today's YouTube live chat poll. We're going to get a couple of these reactions, Hannah, when we come back. Let's get to some of the comments that people are leaving about this YouTube live chat poll. Of these options, which is the best decade of life? 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. We've got 3 of those decades covered in this room, so we can maybe comment on what we've lived so far. And we'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Real quick before we go to a break, GOP Debate Watch Party, can you promote that for a second?
Yep, Dave & Buster's, August 23rd. So that's not this coming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. You do need to get tickets. It's completely free. Just sign up. Let us know that you're coming to Dave & Buster's on August 23rd at 971talk.com.
All right, stick around. A lot more fun here on the Annie Frey Show on a Friday. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 782-3333.
Ron had a tax problem he just couldn't handle on his own.
I owed the IRS taxes for over 5 years, but I didn't have any money to pay the taxes.
Those years cost him dearly.
Most of it was fees and interest. It was horrible.
Ron finally called in the pros.
I called Optima Tax Relief, and boy, am I happy I did.
The leading tax resolution firm, Optima, is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've resolved over $1 billion for their clients. Ron was overjoyed.
They settled my account with the IRS. I was ecstatic. They are a lifesaver. They are. I am so happy.
Take Ron's advice and call Optima now for a free consultation.
Yeah, don't do like I did and wait. Call Optima Tax Relief. Do it now. You'll be ecstatic like me.
Call 800-987-6122. 800-987-6122. 800-987-6122.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. Surprise for Hunter Biden. I'm Therese Crowley. Attorney General Merrick Garland has appointed a special counsel for what he calls the ongoing Hunter Biden investigation and prosecutions. And it's the same U.S. attorney from Delaware heading up the Hunter Biden probe for the last several years, David Weiss.
On Tuesday of this week, Mr. Weiss advised me that in his judgment, his investigation had reached a stage at which he should continue his work as a special counsel, and he asked to be so appointed.
Weiss has been flagged by GOP critics for slow-walking the Hunter Biden probe, and IRS whistleblowers question whether he had full power to prosecute. DOJ has now dropped the Hunter Biden plea deal. No comment today from the White House. President Biden heading to Rehoboth Beach shortly. House Oversight Chair James Comer calls this a DOJ effort to mount a Biden family cover-up, but DOJ is now declining to comment on whether the President of the United States, Joe Biden, is under investigation. Garland's announcement shortly after a federal court hearing on Donald Trump. Judge Tanya Chutkan said the defendant has the right to free speech, but the right is not absolute. And the D.C. federal judge largely sided with Trump lawyers in their battle against Justice Department moves to limit what Trump can say about his election interference trial.
Federal prosecutors are asking for an order from federal judge Tanya Chutkan limiting what former President Trump can say or post on social media about evidence in his upcoming trial on conspiracy charges.
Well, Judge Tanya Chutkan in Washington rejected prosecutors' broader protective order proposal that sought to prevent the public airing all evidence they hand over to Trump's defense as they prepare for trial, reserving a limited ban for sensitive materials. America is listening to Fox News.
At Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing that matters. Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Hosting a barbecue is a breeze, but managing my frequent heartburn, that was a lot more work. I would chew up to 10 antacids in one day. Now I take just one Prilosec OTC, and my heartburn is blocked for a full 24 hours. Just one Prilosec OTC a day gives me one-and-done heartburn relief, so I can go back for seconds on my world-famous burgers.
Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We are going to be in the low 90s this afternoon. 92 under partly sunny skies, maybe a spot storm. Increasing clouds, very humid tonight. A batch of rain and thunderstorms primarily after midnight, 72. Saturday, partly sunny, 90. Sunday, partly sunny. Another batch of rain and thunderstorms late Sunday into Sunday evening. Some of those could be strong to severe, and 88 degrees. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You found 97.1 FM Talk, where we ask questions, even when the legacy media won't. Especially when the legacy media won't.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
This weekend only, Elite Spa Sales is back with their massive Factory Direct Hot Tub and Swim Spa sale. Huge savings, factory incentives, immediate delivery. Everything must go. Hurry, the clock is ticking. Only at 2 Men and a Spa Dolly and Arnold. Sale ends Sunday. EliteSpaSales.com.
The MLB app. Your team, your players, your home for live streaming baseball.
And what a way to start.
Customize your home feed with your favorite team. Get personalized stats, highlights, stories, breaking news, and follow your team on game day. 3D replays and live streams add a new dimension to the game. Plus, free live streaming programming every day. The MLB app. Make it your home for all things baseball. Download for free from the App Store or Google Play. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
If you need a new bath or shower, call my friends at Bath Fitter of St. Louis. Mark Cox here. We love our new shower and tub enclosure. It looks fantastic. No demolition, no mess, and a lifetime guarantee. Right now, they're having a sale for 20% off up to $1,000 or zero interest until 2028. That's 5 years. Call 636-338-1648. That's 636-338-1648. Bath Fitter of St. Louis.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-399-9407 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-399-9407. That's 800-399-9407. What do you have to lose? Call 800-399-9407. Again, 800-399-9407.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. When you're injured and in your darkest hour, Onder Law is not only on your side, we're by your side.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're grateful that you're spending some of your Friday afternoon with us. A happy reminder, it is Friday and it is the afternoon. Today, we are celebrating Brad's 40th birthday. It's happening tomorrow. I am wearing a Star Wars shirt that I pilfered from somebody else in my house in honor of Brad. Ryan, you're wearing today
Blue Lives Matter in honor of Brad liking that cause.
Yes, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah?
And I'm wearing the same dress I wore in Disney in honor of Brad and one of his favorite memories.
Yeah, one of his favorite memories of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that dress. That sounded a little weird.
The YouTube live chat poll of these options, which is the best decade of life, 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s? I'm 39 years old, so I've lived two of these decades. Do we agree, at least among the three of us who have been in our 30s, that the 30s are just infinitely better than the 20s?
Oh, yeah. 1,000%.
I cannot find a reason why that statement would not be true.
I mean, Hannah, you're in your early 20s, and we've talked about this before, but the amount of big questions that you have in front of you, massive.
Yeah, I am not voting 20s at all in this
You're
poll.
like, my 40s are way better
I
than
am,
that.
I am 1 year into my 20s, almost 2, and this has not been an easy year for me. There's way too many big changes and choices, super overwhelming. I'm finding out more about myself. My friends are in the same boat. Everyone's confused. No one can help one another. It's not been fun. I'm excited for my 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. I'm excited to get out of my 20s, actually.
Well, don't rush it. I will add that as well. But I'm going back and thinking about everything you just described there, all of the questions that you have, it's confusing. This is something that I kind of talked about, I don't know, it was a couple months ago. Might have been around my birthday, actually, in April. But being in my late 30s right now, I have 4 kids. I'm in the career, or at least in the position in my career right now that I want to be in. And there's been a point in my life where I've realized that I have a lot less beginnings and big question marks that exist in the rest of my life. And being this age, it's like many of the things that I had hoped for and dreamed for have either happened or I know they're not going to happen, and I'm pretty much at peace with all of that. But looking forward, if I'm looking at the first 39 years of my life and I'm looking at the next 39 years of my life, sometimes it seems as though there are going to be a lot of endings that come my way. And I think that for me approaching 40, that's what's in my brain. And I'm going to ask you, Brad, since you're hitting that day tomorrow, kind of your thoughts on it. But then I talk to people who are like the folks who are commenting on our YouTube today, and we want to hear what you think, a little advice from people who maybe have experienced more of their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s than we have in this room, that there are a ton of beginnings. There are a ton of things that, just like when you got into your 30s, it's like, oh, I'm not going out and doing all the things that I used to do when I'm 20, and I am actually feeling relieved about that. So we'd love to get your feedback on this issue. Brad, going into your 40s, hitting that date tomorrow, do you feel, I think there's a lot of buildup that comes with that, like, ooh, 40. But then you get there, and sometimes it's like, I don't know if I'm trying to make this a buildup inside of me because that's what I was told to do, or do you feel like there's a genuine, like, whew, this is a day?
Every bit of buildup that I've experienced has been inside of my own head, and it's just been in the quiet moments. It's like sitting there and it's like, oh, like I messaged you the other day. It's like, oh, I realize I only have like 2 days left in my 30s, which is really bizarre. But to be honest with you, I don't really think about it all that much until we start talking about it. And
do you want us to stop talking about it?
No, it doesn't matter to me.
2 more hours.
Because I look at it and I just go, to me, I don't really think about beginnings and endings. I just think about, oh, what's next on the list? Because I've in my life, I've experienced events that just kind of got me out of that, oh, these are ending, these are things, because you don't know what's coming next. And so just to be open and ready to go for whatever's next and to have an open mind toward it. And that's kind of where I'm going into the 40s with, like, hey, the 30s for me were pretty cool. The 20s for me were not cool. They ended with kind of a thud.
You had a heart attack.
With heart attack.
You suffered heart attacks.
So that's how that was. But then in the 30s, you know, you like Hannah was talking about, you find out who you are. For me, I was actually in the best shape of my life, you know, and it's where that intersection. Yeah,
Ryan.
I understand, Ryan. I am already feeling the old aches and pains, and everybody keeps telling me it doesn't get any better from here, kid. And so, but you're at that intersection where your intellect matches your physical abilities, and you're kind of in your prime, is what it feels like. But that doesn't mean that I can't have a great 40s.
Right. And maybe things will different. I think it's the unexpected positives that you didn't know were coming.
Exactly.
We've got some guests in the studio here right now. The boss man, Steve, and Trisha, also joining us in here to wish a happy birthday to Brad. Steve, our YouTube live chat poll is, of these options, which is the best decade of life, 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s?
Well, the 50s are not. So it's all downhill from here, Brad.
So, like, what about the 40s? Is it
the
okay?
20s still on the list?
20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s? You gonna go 20s? We just said before you walked in here that collectively we don't think the 20s were anywhere better than the 30s.
I think the 30s are the best.
Sorry, Brad. Hold on to this day.
I think the 30s, because you just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into your 40s, things like retirement, saving money, your kids are getting older. you start worrying about things that are towards the end of your life, as opposed when you're 30, you're like, I have my whole life in front of me.
Yeah.
Now at 50, you're like, I'm at 56, so it's like getting tougher.
Yeah, I'm interested in all the feedback. We're getting tons of comments. We're going to get to a couple of those here with Hannah in a second. Trisha in studio. She is still in the 30s with myself and Brad for one more day.
Yeah, the 30s are great.
Yeah,
you
I
should
agree.
stay there.
I'm trying. I haven't figured this out yet.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
You're literally watching the seconds tick by right now.
Yeah.
At this moment.
But you enjoy you have to enjoy it. I'll just say this: like you have to live your 50s like it's your 30s. You have to live your 60s as you get older.
Like it's
and
your
you
30s.
realize you really don't
Brad,
have.
this is it.
Yeah, when you realize you don't have much
In your
time
20s,
left.
like it's your 70s.
I mean,
You're always in your 30s,
yeah, just
Brad.
imagine you're always in your 30s.
It sounded when you started like you were going to take this in a positive direction.
If that's not positive, I don't know what is.
It did. It sounded like it was inspirational at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then by the end, we all realized that we were sad about it.
You should be 56.
I mean, but you have to think, too, that in your 40s and 50s, you're starting to get out of the, I have so many questions, and I've noticed energy starts to decrease, but I have a busy lifestyle, so I'm just giving it to everyone else. There has to be a sweet spot in your 40s and maybe in your 50s where you still have some energy, have a little more time to yourself, and more resources. There has to be something good about that. I'm hoping. Please tell me there is.
No. I think you do. I mean, honestly, you've made a little bit more money because you get older. You start to, the kids are older, so you're experiencing different things in your life. So there's a lot of really good. I mean, I played golf with a guy who was 81 the other day, and he was super energetic. I mean, he was great. He carried he carried our foursome.
Yeah.
He was amazing. He was 81. He was spry and, totally energetic. So not everybody, when you get like 60s at all, it's like all
Joe
downhill,
Biden.
In fairness, he's a little up there too.
Keep in mind
he
that
was 60.
as a KMOX guy, he's playing golf with like former baseball players and stuff. in their 80s, are still doing Ozzie Smith backflips.
No, this guy was not a former baseball.
Isn't it weird that unless there's some sort of something that occurred that made this not legal anymore, I was looking for birthday cards for him today. There's not a Joe Biden birthday card. Do you remember the Bill Clinton birthday cards? They were in a certain section.
I do. No, I heard that.
George W. Bush.
I heard you talking about this earlier. It is strange. It's almost like he's untouchable. You'd think that there would be I know, and nobody wants his face on anything, but you'd think there would be a market for people that would like to make fun of him.
No, I was looking to buy a birthday card about AIDS
trust
with
me,
Joe
there's a
Biden's
market.
face
I
on
went
it.
in that lane in Walgreens a couple years ago to find not necessarily a card, but something. I was in that lane, and they had a Joe Biden magazine called Joe Biden. And guess who was on the cover? Joe Biden. I'm like, this isn't a magazine. There's no magazine called Joe Biden.
Just a picture.
I took a
Joe
picture
Biden.
of it because I'm like, nobody's going to believe this is real.
In all seriousness, though, Brad, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You are an asset to this team, and 40 is going to look great on you.
Thank you.
But guess what? They are not here necessarily to wish you happy birthday, although that was a bonus.
I appreciate it, though.
The management team contacted me, as they often do, about issues with Annie. And they said, we have something that we need to present to Annie. And so can you make some sound about this? And so we'll go ahead and do the formality of it first, if you want to do that part.
Sure. So, Annie, congratulations. You received an honorable mention in the Gracie Awards this year. This is for Post Non-Morning Drive Large Major Market. So it's a big deal. Like it's
you.
Major market radio, and
a testament to the whole team.
Absolutely. So congratulations. We are very proud of you.
Thank you. Did you put this on your calendar to be here to say that?
Yes.
It's honorable mention. It's a big deal.
It is.
It's
Top
like finishing
female
second.
broadcasters in the country.
You almost said world.
Almost world, but it's not true.
It's a national. It's a
national award.
That's cool. Well, thank you.
We're very proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for it.
So they did
Thank you.
say, can you put together something just kind of a piece to say congratulations?
Now I'm worried.
They didn't put many parameters on that.
I'm worried too.
So I
Me too.
Yeah,
I did make that for you, and I'd like to play that for you now.
Oh gosh.
Annie Frey has won a Gracie Award for Broadcasting Excellence 2 out of the last 2 years possible. This year, 97.1 would like to congratulate Annie on achieving something she's never achieved before. An honorable mention.
Congratulations, Annie. I'm happy to have helped you achieve nearly the same heights you have had in the past, but not quite.
She's learned so much about broadcasting excellence that this year, the Gracies wanted her to learn about humility.
You flew too close to the sun, you phoenix. You flew too close to the sun.
Annie Frey. She was the best.
Poll results are in. Are Annie's best days ahead of her or behind her?
The Annie Frey Show. Congratulations for winning this year's Gracie Honorable Mention.
I feel honored.
That's awesome.
Congratulations. I know you put your heart and soul into that.
You're darn right I did. It's weird when the Gracies come to you because you go, I am not a woman. But when they tell you, you know what your coworker is.
Yeah.
And you go, oh. And then you go, okay, what can I do to help? That everybody participated. We all wanted to let you know how much that we think that you've achieved.
Next time, try to get all the way through the sentence without laughing at yourself. Well, thank you. The show has been acknowledged multiple times by the Gracies. It's fantastic, and it is definitely a testament to everybody here. So thank all of you for making this honorably mentioned show.
I can speak on behalf of everybody when I say you're welcome.
Yeah. We'll shoot for the stars next time.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit better than honorable mention.
Yeah, just change the trajectory a little bit and you'll be fine.
I tend to believe that you're doing just as well as you did last year, but everybody else is getting better.
Well, you got to set the bar, but then you got to keep up with it. So.
Radio's on the upswing.
Yes.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, it's a new medium.
Think it'll catch on?
We're just starting to get in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys for being in here.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Brad. We're going to continue to celebrate Brad throughout the course of this show. And we've got some surprises for him later on in the show. So you're going to want to stick around and make sure that you're on the Annie Frey YouTube live to see those surprises. So stick around. Ask me anything. Get your questions in for Hannah so she can ask them when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Make me your enemy, your enemy, your enemy. So you wanna play
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
What's wrong with Rick? He's kind of spacey today.
That's Rick's identical twin, Scott. He's not used to answering to Rick.
What's going on?
Rick asked me to keep it secret, but he asked his twin to cover his shift so he could go to Diamonds Direct to shop.
But this is a jewelry store.
Yeah, I know, but the prices and selection are so much better at Diamonds Direct. Rick doesn't want the boss to get suspicious, so Scott's here in case the boss sees Rick at Diamonds Direct.
But that would mean that the boss is at Diamonds Direct too?
Yeah, we have a lot of secrets.
You never know who you'll run into at Diamonds Direct. With unbeatable direct importer prices, the highest quality diamonds, the most sought-after designer rings, the best customer service, the strongest guarantees in the industry. It's just a no-brainer.
You think if Scott had a mustache, would he look like me?
No.
Go where everyone else goes. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Well, what if I shaved?
Still no.
For store hours, directions, and more, go to diamondsdirect.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness 101 for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness 101. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki created Neovitin 15 years ago to help support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Since then, Neovitin has helped thousands of people support their daily nutrition with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend. If you're ready to join many St. Louisans in supporting their nutrition, give Neovitin a try. You can find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Dr. Miriam Grossman is with us. She's a child psychiatrist.
Gender ideology is exactly that. It's an ideology. It's not based in medicine. It's not based in science.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
97.1 FM Talk, you listen to Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, it is. Submit this to the Gracies and then stop it right. No, go ahead. Right here.
He's a guy, so. Ask me anything. We always do that at 1:25. Your questions submitted on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat. Hannah is cultivating those right now. We've got some of our questions of our own, so let's get into it.
You have to ask me nicely. Don't make me beg here.
Ask me anything.
Tell me the truth!
All right, first question coming in is from Balls. It says, Brad, ice cream cake or regular birthday cake? This goes along with a question that I have of my own is, everybody can answer this. What is your favorite birthday treat? So on your birthday, what type of special treat is your favorite?
Okay, so this is tough. So for me, I would say birthday cake unless it's the ice cream cake from Cold Stone. I think that they have the best ice cream cake out there. But that would be my answer to that one. My favorite birthday treat, probably ice cream cake from Cold Stone.
Good
Sticking with his first answer.
Ice cream cake is good.
Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never have it.
Nothing Bundt cake.
Yeah?
Ooh, that's a good
man.
one.
And they make a gluten-free one, too. Those are really good.
Why would I want to ruin a perfectly good cake?
That's a good question. You can ask them next time. It's my birthday coming up, so ask them for that.
My favorite birthday treat is Rice Krispie treats. Like
Ooh, that's good.
baked, home-baked, big Rice Krispie treat is my favorite with a big candle in it.
Wait, do you bake your Rice Krispie treats? Or you just mean like homemade?
Homemade.
Okay. So you don't bake them.
You don't? I don't cook. You can tell.
How do you melt the marshmallows?
On the stove.
On the stove before.
And then you dump Rice Krispies in them and stir it up and put it in a pan and done.
Never made them before.
By far the most underrated treat.
Yes.
It is so easy to make. They're always delicious.
I agree. There's a guy from our church that puts peanut butter on them and stuff, too. He makes them into a dish.
On
It's like, dude, stop.
Easter, I make those for the kids because I'll make a carrot cake. And not all the kids like carrot cake, but we'll make Rice Krispie treats, and you do half regular Rice Krispies, half Fruity Pebbles. It's delicious.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
You can do Cocoa Krispies too, but Fruity Pebbles.
I've had those. I've never had Fruity.
Fruity Pebbles usually go over pretty well. Next question.
I've got a question
Yeah.
here this one's for Ryan. Ryan, So as I'm getting older, I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, great.
Do you know when you're experiencing a senior moment, when it's happening, or like is that something that somebody has to tell you?
No, in fact, I'll tell you what changes though, because it's not that I don't have senior moments. I'm only like a year older than you. I need to clarify that.
Decade.
But what does happen when you hit 40, you'll experience this tomorrow, is that all of a sudden, when people say I'm having a senior moment, you used to, when you were in your 30s, you go, God, why do people say that? When you're in your 40s, you go,
Oh, I get it now.
it's so funny.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's just instantly funny. So tomorrow I'll call you and I'll say that.
Okay.
All right. Dirk commented and asked, what animal best represents your fellow crew members on this show?
This one's a tough one.
Brian, why don't you start first?
Okay.
Start with Hannah.
Hannah is a bulldog.
That's the weirdest way you could have said that.
Uh-huh.
Why?
She is a fighter, and she can eat.
That's true.
I don't know.
Andy knows
Is that
that.
particular bulldogs? Brad is a kangaroo because now this is going to sound kind of weird, but you'll get the metaphor. He, in terms of the show, carries his young in his pouch. Now, Annie...
That's it? No
It's a
follow-up.
metaphor.
You get it. It's not literal.
I get that you tried to do a metaphor, then don't understand the
Yeah.
metaphor.
Is this one of those senior moments?
No, this is no. I'm on my game.
Mark says, senior moment, I walk in the bathroom and forget why I came into the bathroom, so I just take a nap. Other than the nap, I totally am. I get that.
Yeah. Annie is a unicorn.
Okay.
Rare, fast, white, but if you get in her way, she'll be the horn, you know? So.
Okay. Ryan would definitely be a goat.
Man.
1,000%.
The acronym.
A goat, not the goat.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
a goat, not the goat. Yeah, just a goat at Grant's farm is what you...
At Grant's farm. Like one of those high maintenance in the home goats.
It's real
He just
specific.
looks at you and asks you for food all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, it's
Kicks
because
you out if you
I'm
don't
always
feed him.
going, feed me. Milk. Give me bottle.
Is that what goats say?
I stare at you through the fence.
Gray and stuff.
Give me milk.
Next question is from Bobo. What is at the top of your bucket list, everybody?
What's at the top of your bucket list? Brad?
Oh, man. I think I would love to own an exotic car of some sort.
I thought you were going to say animal.
Mm-mm. No.
Exotic car. Ryan?
I want to ride in Brad's exotic car and just kind of let the wind blow through my hair.
What else is on your bucket list? Your real one. You don't have any hair.
I would like to visit one of those hair clubs, and then
Seriously.
I want to hit the town.
You have no
and
bucket list?
Swing my pocket watch around. I do. I would like to go on an Alaskan cruise. That sounds kind of fun.
Really?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a legit answer.
My husband talks about going to Alaska and seeing all that, and he is interested in doing cruises, and I feel like combining the two because I don't know that I would die to do either of those.
I would also like to go to Greenland, just because it's such a weird place that nobody goes. I would like to see what
It's
it's
the
like.
most Ryan Wiggins explanation to go to Greenland that anybody could have come up with.
Yeah.
My bucket list would, high on it, is to visit Australia, but man, they have some creatures in Australia that make me think twice about it. And my grandmother is from Australia. She came over here. I think she was 18 years old. And so I'd love to go see where she grew up and visit that area. I'm sure that if I flew overseas, I wouldn't think it was that big of a deal. I'm going to Hawaii in 2025, I hope. That's the plan. So that's going to be kind of a new commitment for me in travel, is to fly overseas. So Australia, though, that's one you got to do when you're staying for a while. And so that's probably retirement bucket list. What about you, Anna?
I just want to travel more. I feel like I always go to the same places and I'm very safe. So I want to travel somewhere new, maybe go out of country. I have fears of doing that, but I will try to branch out and do that. Lori asks.
Oops, sorry, I was going to say Amanda commented on here. Don't go during spider season. There's a season for it.
Australia?
I've seen articles about how it like rains spiders,
Yeah.
which is really the epitome of my nightmares.
I didn't know that was a season.
I didn't know.
I've seen those
well,
too.
I'm actually kind of excited about it because if it's avoidable, that's good.
Right.
I definitely won't come back if there's a spider season because I will die. Ugh.
All right, Lori asked Brad, what will you be doing for the rest of your birthday? How will you celebrate after the show?
Well, tonight is, since today's not my birthday, I'll be mowing grass. But then tomorrow, I'm hoping that I can go out to dinner with some family and friends and just have a good time with family and friends. You know, is how I'm going to celebrate it.
Scooter has a question for you as well. He asked, Brad, if you could talk to your 30-year-old self, what would you say actively as you're 39?
Yeah, buckle up. This is going to be wild. And yeah, I just wouldn't give any hints or anything like that.
Then he would do the Marx Brothers mirror thing where he'd go, oh, look, is it me or is it you? How is this possible? And?
Nothing to add.
Carlo asks, Brad, will you be turning to Wiggins on how to navigate this new decade that you are entering?
I absolutely will be. He has a lot of experience, which I've got a question here for you too, Ryan. What about reverse mortgages? Are they right for me?
That's a great question, Brad. And I'll tell you what, you are turning to the right guy for advice because I got nothing but it.
Did you write these questions, Ryan?
The reverse mortgage thing was him.
That's good.
That is a good one.
That's a good one.
Brad, let me tell you something. There's a whole lot that you're about to learn. When you turn 40, it is like, you ever seen that movie with Bradley Cooper where all of his brain finally works? It's like all of a sudden you realize how much you didn't know.
So this is all of your brain working.
This is just a show. This is a radio show. I'm playing character. You know, when we get off, I sit you down and I'm like, let's talk. And if you get out of line, I put you over my knee.
This is getting weird.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird considering where it started.
Jeez. All right, next question coming in. Bobo asks, what is the best birthday gift you have ever received?
Oh my gosh.
I know,
Best
that's
birthday gift.
That's a loaded one.
Anybody have anything that jumps out? What did Ryan Wiggins just give you, Brad?
That was another question that came in.
Yeah, that's the best one you're ever going to get right there.
All right, so Ryan Wiggins gave me Richard Simmons Sweat and Shout Party game.
Yeah.
Show it to the camera.
He did.
I know, but show it so that they can see it.
Yeah.
What does it say? Give us a little more information on.
Show off your moves and shimmy off the pounds. Includes a sweatband and bonus poster. The thing is Richard Simmons doesn't wear sweatbands.
Bonus poster. He could use some sweatpants.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at them legs.
They're toned.
There's something.
I guess
Sweatband included.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'll open that up and get the sweatband
Let's get
out
the
later in
sweatband out
show.
right now. Yeah.
Put the poster up.
Yeah. Behind Ryan. What else? Is there something else to it? The gift?
Yeah. It is Wild Willie's beard grooming kit.
Where'd you get that, Ryan?
I don't remember.
Oh, boy.
I buy gifts throughout the year.
Have
I've
you
already
used
got
it?
your Christmas gift. I buy gifts throughout the year, and then I forget where I got them, but I've been holding on to that for you for a long time.
It's got a boar bristle brush, symmetry beard shaping tool, ergonomic scissors, and Wild Willie's durable hold styling paste.
Yep.
You do use beard grooming stuff,
I do.
right?
I do.
It's a good
I will
gift.
actually
One
make use of
gag,
this.
one good.
Ryan, what's the best birthday gift you've ever received?
Probably a tender smile from a friend.
Oh, my gosh.
You?
My husband got me, I think it was my birthday and Mother's Day are like just a couple weeks apart, but he got me a record player, like a really nice record player. And the reason why it was such a great gift is because it's definitely something that I've always wanted, but wouldn't go spend the money on the good kind of that for myself. So it was, you get to a certain age and you really want something, you try to make it so you can afford it, you go get it. Waiting, like when you're going up to Christmas, do you ever find yourself not buying yourself things that you really want to have because you think someone might get it for you for Christmas?
All the time.
So I love that record player.
My favorite gift I've ever received probably wasn't for my birthday, but for my high school graduation. My mom gave me two very special things. One, she threw me a great graduation party, and this was in COVID. So I finally got to see everybody that I haven't seen in forever. So my mom put that together. That was another a good part of the gift. And then everybody signed this photo frame for me and gave me well wishes and everything like that. So that was great. I think the timing during COVID, I really needed to be with my family and friends, and to have all of them together was great. So that was the best gift that I can think of.
All right. One more question before we take a break. And the sweatband.
Yeah, sorry. I've been so focused on the sweatband.
Look at that. You see what it says?
It says never say diet.
Never say diet.
Oh, you put it on already.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah,
I can't see it.
I like that color blue.
It works.
Yeah, that's pretty.
You actually look a little bit awesome.
Yeah, a little bit. I look a lot awesome.
Isn't that why you gave it to him?
Well, I didn't open the gift ahead of time, but yes, that's why I gave it to him. I didn't try it on.
Ryan, did you have any questions for the crew?
Yeah, I do.
If only there was a way for you to know that we would ask them now.
Was anyone else scared of weevils as a kid?
What's a weevil?
What?
Okay, so I guess that's a no. You?
No.
No? Do you know what they are? Mm-hmm. Those are things that get in your food. It's like they don't happen anymore. But when I was a kid, I had this memory the other day. I was deathly afraid.
This sounds exactly like I Have a Friend Who segment.
Yeah, it does.
Where he tells stories about himself and forgets to say a friend.
I used to, I would find weevils and things. If they got a little bit old, there was these little bugs that would develop.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's what you had written down? Seriously?
Yeah, I wanted to know if it was me or if it was you guys too, or if it was an age thing.
How do you feel about it?
I feel bad about it because I was so afraid for so long. But the problem is that I would say for like 2 years of my childhood, like 6 and 7 years old, everything I'd eat, I'd go, Mom, is there going to be weevils in this? And she'd be like, no, honey, there's not going to be weevils in it because it's something I saw.
So irrational.
And then she serves me hot chocolate. And I'm like, there's not going to be weevils in it, right? And she's like, they can't even develop in that. I look down, there's weevils in it.
How is it that they develop?
They were in flour. Dirk says they were in flour. I think that's right. And they must have come up with something that gets rid of them now. But when I was a kid, they were pretty common. If you let flour go too long or breads or things like that, they would just grow in them.
I'm looking at the Singapore Food Agency.gov website.
Okay.
And the question
that's on this topic.
That is the reference for the answer of the question, can I eat rice that has weevils?
Okay.
And Singapore Food Agency says, as weevils do not compromise the safety of the rice, consumers need not throw the rice away if there are weevils present. They can simply remove the weevils from the rice during washing and before cooking. The presence of rice weevils are a sign of poor storage practices and do not make the rice unsafe for consumption. So just go ahead.
No, see, everybody in the chat saying they remember them. But
why are you, when you were younger, is this a problem that doesn't exist anymore?
That's what I was asking. I didn't know if you guys had ever dealt with it because I'm clearly the oldest person here. If you guys had ever had this or if it was still a problem or whatever.
I'm worried about it now.
You should.
I've got one more question for Ryan before we go. But
okay.
Ryan, do you have a recommendation for a brand of Velcro strap shoes?
Is this an age thing too?
Well, answer the question, do you?
Yeah.
Well, my honest answer is no. I don't. What are you going to do with that?
Oh, maybe Brad will have a recommendation on Monday for you for your Velcro strap shoes. Let's take a quick break. More Annie Frey Show right around the corner.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Today's YouTube live chat poll of these options, which is the best decade in life? 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s? If you're above that, you have to pick one of those. Sorry, that's the way it is. It's the Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll. We'll give you the results at the end of the show. The time is 1:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The voice for hardworking, free-thinking Americans.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. Want to get your feedback from the YouTube live chat poll of these options, which is the best decade of life, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, while we recognize Brad's 40th birthday today. Hannah, I'm going to have you read some of those comments here in a bit. But before we get to that, have you guys heard of phubbing?
No.
No.
Brad?
No.
I thought that maybe this would be something that Hannah had heard of, because once again we've named something that exists. Like it has to have a name, and this is a Gen Z thing, maybe a younger millennial thing too.
I'm going to take a wild guess because this is the kind of thing it always is.
Phubbing, Phubbing.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't really change it, but it's going to be something like when you open a door too fast and it hits the door thing, the spring on the back. You know what I mean?
You think that makes a sound that sounds like pub?
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's a combination of the words phone and snubbing.
What's this?
Of course it is.
It's the name of the action of being in a group of people in public with another person and spending time on your phone instead of with the person who's in your presence.
Okay, so you got phubbed.
Yeah.
If you're hanging out with somebody, but they're not paying attention to you.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting concept to me because I think it is certainly something that in our lifetimes growing up, not having, through high school, when did you get your first phone, Ryan?
Late 90s.
How old were you?
I was 17.
17. So you went through the majority of high school without phones being...
And this was like use it after 9 only an emergency phone.
Yeah, playing Snake on the Nokia. What about you, Brad?
When did I get my first phone?
How
I
old
think
were
I
you?
was 18 before I got my first phone.
I got mine when I was 16, and it was a Nokia phone.
The brick.
The brick?
Yeah.
I wonder if I Google that, will it?
Oh, I know what the brick is.
I wonder if I
I
could
thought
see.
all Nokias were bricks. You could like throw them off a building and they wouldn't break.
It was just because the battery was so gigantic.
I think mine was the generation before that, according to what
Then
I'm
it would have been
Googling.
a bigger brick.
But we did not grow up, the three of us here did not grow up in a world where phones were an obvious part of everyday existence. When they came on the scene, it was still to call people. It's like my kids would say to me, like, if they wanted a phone. I'm like, you don't want a phone. You want essentially like a tablet. You want some device where you can type messages to people or play games. The idea of calling people, the way we grew up, phones were to call people and talk to people. That's way by the wayside. Do you ever get frustrated, Ryan, if you're with somebody and they're spending all of their time on their phone? Have you ever or do you ever, not necessarily frustrated, but do you ever notice, like, that person's really not present with me here right now?
Yeah, it doesn't happen as often as I would think it does. I try to be conscious that I'm not doing it to other people too, because I know that I could. But the time that it does bother me is when I'm talking to my wife and she's doing something else. Usually, honestly, it's schoolwork, but it's on her phone.
But she's on her phone. She's
But
doing
on her phone,
something else.
Yes. It bothers me in such a way that I'll actually like stop talking to get her attention, wait, and then she'll see that I've stopped talking.
Have you ever done the same thing to her?
Oh, yeah.
It's a two-way street.
Absolutely.
And I think, too, that to that point, I'm more likely to do it to someone the closer I am to them.
Yes.
Because
you're with them enough.
Yeah, and if you're juggling multiple things at one time, and if I'm talking to one of you, but I get a message about one of my kids, I'm answering that, and I am listening. You're capable of doing more than one thing at a time, and the phone makes it so that you can communicate with anybody about anything 24 hours a day. I think it's easy to get into the habit of doing that, but I notice, depending on the situation, when other people spend a lot of their time on their phone in the presence of other people, or if there's a meeting or something like that. And I have been that person, and I try to keep my phone out of sight, because even the idea that it is sitting there, like right now to my right, I could check it right now and see if I have any text messages or anything like that I want to just keep my eyes on and ears on. Like, how many times do we check our phones and there's nothing? So you check it again, and how much time passes before you peek at it again?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's usually not that much, depending on what
Well,
the
people
situation is.
expect instant access to you.
Yeah.
And
And
I
we
expect it.
provide it.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Brad? Fubbing. Have you ever noticed it when people do this to you, or have you ever noticed yourself doing it to people?
Both. I've noticed people doing it to me, and I've noticed myself doing it to other people. And there seems to be one common denominator in that, and it's about interest level in the conversation. What that communicates is that either you're not too interested in what I'm saying, or I'm not interested in what you're saying. I'm allowing my attention to be drawn away by something else. And the only reason that is because I'm not being polite to the person across from me.
Yeah. And there are two ways that it happens. One is you're with somebody who you are very close to, like your significant other, or, a close friend or a close colleague or whatever. And you just assume that the other person expects that you understand that multiple things are going on. If you're to go out to a dinner with people who you don't normally have dinner with, and you're checking work emails or, playing a game or something like that on your phone, super rude, does happen. What?
I'm not going to say the artist, but when I was in Christian radio, there was an artist one time, huge name, that was in studio with us for probably an hour, which is a long interview in music. And they were going to talk about whatever, and they had a new album out, and the lead singer was just playing a game on the phone the whole time.
What was the game?
I think it was a driving game, because he was actually going like this.
It's subtle.
He was steering. Yeah, it was like, really, man? I get that you're on a tour bus all the time.
Yeah, but you're not even.
You're probably in
faking
the middle of a game, like whatever, and you probably do these across the country.
Openly
he was straight up fubbing us.
Phone snubbing. What about you, Hannah?
Yeah, I see it all the time, but I also do it. I won't say that I won't because I'll be lying, but I do fub. I think you fub, you need to admit to it and just be like, sorry, I was distracted. What were you saying?
Mm-hmm.
At least address your fub.
You can call people out now, too, that you know what it is. You can be like, look, buddy, you just fubbed up. You need to get your act together. You need to get out.
Have you ever said something? Stop it. Have you ever said something to somebody if you're talking to them and it's you're trying to convey to somebody something's important and they're on their phone? You said that you just stop talking when you're with your wife and she's doing that.
Yeah.
I've done the same thing to Jared, and I know that there are times where he has been trying to communicate to me. And we really have. You have to do this when you've got kids around too. It's very frustrating to have a conversation. If you're trying to have an important conversation with your significant other and the kids around, the kids don't wait for you for your attention, and it is a very important priority for me as a parent to teach my children that if I'm talking to another adult, you can come show me that you're ready for my attention, but I'm not going to stop everything I'm doing to give you my attention. I mean, if it's an emergency, then you can convey it as such. But when you're talking, this happens in our house a lot, and my husband and I both try to work at being better at this. We're trying to have a conversation, and it might be like a logistical conversation where the details are really important. You're talking about you're going to be here, and then we're going to go there, and then we're going to have this card at that place. So you need to pay attention to it, but the kids are like, Mom, Dad, the whole time. And so you're having a conversation with the other adult in the relationship, but it's interrupted a dozen times by kids, and it's like, it can become very frustrating. So both of us equally have learned to just be like, hold on a second. I wasn't giving you my full attention, but I want to. Can you start that over? Because the most frustrating thing is getting in halfway into the plan that you laid out but weren't paying full attention to, and then something gets upset, and then you realize you weren't actually paying attention.
Yeah.
So acknowledging it. The kids thing is different than the phone thing, but that's kind of a same stuff, different day type of thing.
I'm glad to hear that, actually, because we do the same thing. We try to teach the kids, look, whatever you're experiencing in the moment isn't always the most important thing. You got to wait your turn. But I don't know if this happens to you, but they will, if they realize, they're in the middle of a conversation, they're doing a good job of waiting. But now they're sitting about 5 inches from my face, staring at me, waiting for their turn.
And you're like, you're doing a great job being quiet.
Yeah. You're doing good. You have good discipline. I understand that, but then you have to address them to say, I understand that you need to talk. It interrupts it anyway.
Have you ever been with people, any of you, have you ever been with people who won't tell their kids ever?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, or like the idea that the child, if the child wants attention, they stop everything they're doing all of the time to give the child attention.
Yes. I was at a barbecue a couple years ago, and there were 4 of us standing, not exactly the same situation, 4 of us standing around, and one kid that just kept coming into the middle, didn't belong to any of us, and kept trying to get our attention. And this kid was starting to bother people. And one of my buddies, who's huge, just did not know how to get rid of this kid. And I don't know if it was before he had kids, it might have been. And so I just leaned down to this kid and I said, you need to get out of here.
You seriously did?
Yeah.
How old was this child?
This kid was probably 8,
and you
way
didn't know
beyond.
Who he was?
No, and he was way past his boundaries.
What was he doing?
And he needed discipline. He needed somebody to tell him. I mean, he was like hitting you a little bit and like doing stuff that's like, this is way too far. But he needed somebody to authoritatively tell him, you're too far. And it was like, once it happened, he responded to it.
Yeah. I wish that society would invest a little more time in telling kids that they're not always the number one be all end all, the world stops for you, because boy, if you don't teach your kids that, the world is going to do that in a hurry. All right, X's and O's with Nick Johnson and John Sinclair and the Vitae Foundation when we come back in studio, and a little more celebration of Brad as he is celebrating his 40th birthday tomorrow. Come join us on the YouTube Live. We'll be back in a minute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Stewart's American Mortgage. You can Google the Bagel Loan to find out more information about how Stewie can help you save money on your mortgage. You can have the opportunity to get that low rate, the lowest rate available to you while rates have gone up. You still want to make sure that the one that you get for the mortgage is going to be the lowest one available, and he can help you do that. But when you use the Bagel Loan, you're going to pay zero in closing costs that every other lender out there is going to charge you for. So reach out to Stewie at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. And when you contact Stewie, mention the Annie Frey Show. He's going to help show you how the Bagel Loan has helped many other Annie Frey Show listeners save when they go to make that close. Also, refinances. If you qualify for a refinance Bagel Loan, you're going to be able to not have to pay any of those closing costs as well right there. Contact my friend Stewie at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You can Google the Bagel Loan as well, NMLS number 226715.
Hey, Bernie Federico here. Over the years, you've heard me talk about Lakeside Renovation and Design. My friends Matt and Dan have been in the business for over 25 years and have done everything on my home, from James Hardy siding, Infinity from Marvin Windows, and even a couple of room additions. These guys are great, and you can trust them with your home. Check out their website to see for yourself all the beautiful work they've done. You can find them online at lakesidrenovationanddesign.com. Be sure to ask about their unbelievable financing options. Lakeside Renovation and Design.
The warmth of your furnace, the coziness of your gas fireplace, warm cookies from the oven, and a hot shower after a long day. This winter, take time to appreciate the gas that powers your home. Gas is flammable and can become dangerous if there's a leak. This message from the Missouri Association of Natural Gas Operators.
This weekend only, Elite Spa Sales is back with their massive factory direct hot tub and swim spa sale. Huge savings, factory incentives, immediate delivery. Everything must go. Hurry, the clock is ticking. Only at 2 Men and a Spa Dolly and Arnold. Sale ends Sunday. EliteSpaSales.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Attorney David Weiss, who has overseen the criminal probe into Hunter Biden, has now been appointed special counsel, expanding his reach in the investigation. Fox's Peter Ducey has more from the White House.
I have been in contact with a couple different White House officials, Biden administration officials. They are referring us to the Justice Department or to Hunter's personal representatives instead of commenting on this. But just minutes after Garland made this announcement that Weiss is going to be the special counsel, Weiss and his team of prosecutors in Delaware, who had been trying to work out a plea deal with Hunter Biden, made a court filing where they basically said the deal is off. I'm just going to read this line from a filed motion. It says, during the July 26th, 2023 hearing that the court set on this matter, the defendant, that would be Hunter Biden, pled not guilty. Since that time, the parties have engaged in further plea negotiations but are at an impasse. The government now believes that the case will not resolve short of a trial.
Weiss, a Trump appointee, will also remain in his current post as U.S. Attorney for Delaware. The Hawaiian island of Maui is reeling from the impacts of those devastating wildfires.
It's just a heartbreaking situation for so many residents here. People not knowing the fate of their family members, their loved ones. Communication systems are down on the west side of the island. 911 isn't operable. Cell service isn't possible. Right now, we're standing at a roadblock on the road to Lahaina. This is one of the hardest hit areas. Right now, residents aren't being let in, and they won't be let in for the foreseeable future. And evacuations are still ongoing. People being bussed out of the fire zone. This as the death toll from these fires continues to rise.
Fox Weather's Max Gordon in Maui. At least 55 deaths have been blamed on these wildfires. America's listening to Fox News.
This could be the start of a break-in.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Or the end of one. Introducing 24/7 LiveGuard protection, only from Simply Safe. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Shooing seagulls away from our beach snacks is easy, but keeping my frequent burn away, that was a full-time job. I had to chew up to 10 antacids a day to manage it. Then I tried Prilosec OTC. Just one pill a day blocks my frequent heartburn for a full 24 hours, giving me one-and-done heartburn relief. Thanks to Prilosec OTC, now my heartburn's on vacation too.
Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 4 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Uses directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We are going to be in the low 90s this afternoon. 92 under partly sunny skies, maybe a spot storm. Increasing clouds, very humid tonight. A batch of rain and thunderstorms primarily after midnight, 72. Saturday, partly sunny, 90. Sunday, partly sunny. Another batch of rain and thunderstorms late Sunday into Sunday evening. Some of those could be strong to severe, and 88 degrees. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-399-9407 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-399-9407. That's 800-399-9407. What do you have to lose? Call 800-399-9407. Again, 800-399-9407.
MLBshop.com has everything you need to rep the team you believe in, the players you love, and the community you come from. So snag all those hoodies, caps, jerseys, and swag, and wear your pride with style at home, on the streets, and wherever you go. And with exclusive offers every day, you can unapologetically strut your stuff for a price you love as much as your team. Visit MLBshop.com, the official online shop of Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
The New York Times calls BritBox the best of British telly. Stream brilliant series you can only find on BritBox. Unlock acclaimed favourites like Vera and Stonehouse, plus the upcoming original drama Archie, the story of Cary Grant. Start a free trial at BritBox.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. No one should be injured or be the victim of assault when using a rideshare service. These companies need to be held accountable.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-900,000 to learn more.
You could be watching this right now. Tune into the Annie Frey Show live stream. YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitter. You know what? Just type in Annie Frey Show live stream. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
And you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thank you, Ryan Wiggins, for that one-of-a-kind introduction to the Friday 2 o'clock hour.
You're welcome, as usual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It's X's and O's time on the Annie Frey Show, as we do each Friday in this hour. It's a bit of an opportunity to recap this week in news, and I'm really excited to have Nick Johnson and John Sinclair with Vitae Foundation in studio to face off in this incredible event that Ryan Wiggins puts together each week.
Yeah, this is the Brain Olympics is really what it is.
Brain Olympics.
Yeah, concerning news of the week. So, if you skipped a week, then it won't reflect on your brain.
So before we get to Brain Olympics, Nick, thank you for coming in here. We've been working together. I've been so happy to partner with Vitae Foundation for years now to help what you guys do to advocate for women and the fight for the choice of life that these women are faced in this abortion climate that we live in right now. Vitae Foundation works very hard to get in the position in front of women and provide them real access to real information to provide them help. And Nick, your work with Vitae Foundation and everybody who I've been working with there, it's such an honor to have you in studio today. Thanks for the time.
Well, thanks, Annie. Happy Friday, happy birthday, happy honorable mention. Obviously, we love the Annie Frey Show. We love everybody on the team. We love all that you do and work for, not only with Vitae Foundation and the work that we're doing, but around the whole St. Louis and Midwest areas.
Thank you. So we have in studio John Sinclair. He's a member of the board, the Vitae Foundation. John, I've heard many great things about you. Excited to have you in the studio here.
I have no idea who you're talking to.
I'm looking forward to this next 45 minutes or so of the show to see how this goes. Do you think you're going to be fun?
I don't know about fun. Nick said, come on, we'll go downtown, have a couple of beers. You got to take a test first. I said
publicly.
I said, you have a couple beers, then going home, you don't want any tests. What are you talking about? And I'm pretty sure I'm the only used car salesman on the entire board of directors for the Vitae Foundation.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, of course. Nick, we've got a couple events coming up with the Vitae Foundation, one in Southern Illinois and then another one in St. Charles. And people can go to prowomanaapproach.com to learn more about them. But can you talk to me a little bit about these before we get the game started?
Absolutely. 'Tis the season, and especially it's a busy fall with fundraisers. So we have one on each side of the river coming up. So Tuesday, September 12th, we'll be in Southern Illinois for one of our dinner events. And then also later in October, Thursday, October 26th, we'll have an evening with the Robertsons in St. Charles, Missouri. So we're looking forward to both of those events. And like you said, plenty more information on the website. Registration is already open. And I'm sure the next 45 minutes will fly by, and we'll mention it 4 or 5 more times.
Yes, we absolutely will do that. Go to prowomanaapproach.com, and you can learn more about Leandra Ratomski, who's coming to Southern Illinois on September 12th, and the Robertsons of the Duck Dynasty family. You can learn about that by going to prowomanaapproach.com. That is a Thursday, October 26th event. All right. Is Todd in the studio? Oh, man, he was
he was ready.
I think he was probably thinking I was getting into it a little late.
No. Well, he was. That's why he was so ready, because sometimes he just kind of wanders in here anytime after 2, but Todd was already here. So we have a board behind us here. It is a tic-tac-toe board, gentlemen. You'll see it's a traditional tic-tac-toe board. Nothing special about that, but the way that you get X's and O's is a little bit different than a traditional tic-tac-toe game. You will be answering questions associated with those squares that I have already typed up here. And instead of you simply answering the question, you will have to agree with one of the experts in front of you, which are Annie, Brad, and Hannah. So you'll pick a square. Nick, you'll be X's. John, you'll be O's. We'll start with Nick. You pick a square, and then you pick an expert. And then I ask that question, and you correspond by either agreeing or disagreeing for the square.
Easy.
Yeah, obviously. When you walked in, you're like, duh, saw the board. That's how it works. So, Nick, what am I missing?
So one other thing is you can only pick us 3 times total. So
each.
That's between you two. We can only be picked 3 times.
That's right. So, Nick, the board is wide open. You can start it. Any square.
Well, and I just have 2 requests. So first one is either let me win, and 2 is don't make fun of me or embarrass me. And if we can't do that, then let's let John win, too. So I'm going to start things off nice and easy. I'm pretty simple.
I guarantee one of you will win.
Yes.
There you go.
So I'm going to go with square number 1.
Okay.
And birthday boy Brad Range.
Ooh.
All right, here we go.
Okay, Brad Range. Here's the question. He's a St. Louisan, and he's been doing lots of interviews this week, appearing on Fox News with Hannity and today on the Mark Cox Morning Show. Who is this?
If I had a chance to talk to him, I'd say to really understand who your beer drinker is and who your audience is with your brands.
Who is that speaking concerning beer?
Beer. Okay, so we got a St. Louisan.
This is the hardest question of the week. I'm telling
Really?
you, right out of the gate. Yeah.
This is the hardest one.
Yes.
So we got a St. Louisan, and he's talking about beer.
Yes.
Jeez.
And he's been all over the media this week.
He would have to be somebody from the Bush family. Billy. Is Billy Bush? Is he one?
I
Confidence.
agree. I concur.
That
I'm
is, all right.
confident. Billy Bush.
Amazing. Yeah, you worked that out well.
Wow.
That is Billy Bush. Yeah, he has been all over the place. I think he's got a new book, and so he's been promoting that. Good job. Wow.
All right.
All right, so X gets the square. Now to John for your first.
Box 5, Annie.
All right.
Center square.
Let's do it.
Annie.
John?
My name's Ryan. A U.S. senator
I wasn't talking to you.
said Thursday that they are seriously considering switching parties, saying about their own current party, quote, I have to have peace of mind, basically. The brand has become so bad, unquote. It's Democrat Joe Manchin. He's considering becoming an independent. Currently, there are 3 independents in the Senate. Name 2.
Kirsten Sinema of Arizona and Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Is that where he's from?
You didn't have to say the state, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, but...
Those are the those are,
and if those are even the 2, I don't know.
I think I know. I feel good about that.
I'd say yes.
Yes, that's
the
correct.
third?
That's correct. The third one, Angus King of Maine.
Maine? Okay.
Yep.
That might be near to the category of who cares.
They all
Potpourri.
caucus with the Democrats,
Right,
too. So
yeah.
it's like, whatever. You're super independent. Good job. All right, Nick.
All right, number 7, Hannah.
All right. Bottom left.
Bottom left.
Hannah, 55 people so far have confirmed that they've died in the wildfires that have broken out in Hawaii. Which Hawaiian island are the wildfires causing the most damage? I'll give you multiple choice.
Okay.
A, Oahu. B, Maui. C, Molokai. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Molokai.
That's what I said.
Those accents.
I'm gonna guess B, Maui.
B, Maui. Correct.
Just one day.
Correct. I mean, he was so confident. He said correct before I did.
Brad, you've been to Hawaii. I know that
Yes.
you went there for your honeymoon. Have you been watching this coverage and
I have.
Are you familiar? I've never been, so
I can't remember the name of the town, but apparently there's like a hurricane that is like 800 miles off the coast, and it's blowing the wind, and that wind is feeding these wildfires, and it's absolutely devastating the island.
Yeah.
There's an entire town, like I remember watching the videos and looking at it, and it's like that looks like something out of a war zone. But the entire town burnt to a crisp, and people were jumping in the ocean to get away.
It's horrifying to watch. And Jesse Waters, I believe it was last night, was doing a segment on the wildfires, and it turns out that there are a lot of non-native grasses and plants that were brought into Hawaii, and they are a drier tone of grass.
Interesting.
And it's my mom is in her retirement become a master gardener and a master naturalist, and she's like, if she sees a Bradford pear tree, if it's in your yard, she might come cut it down because they're non-native. They're super invasive. That's not completely true, but maybe. And so she's always pointing out non-native plants, and she's like strong anger and hatred for them. And then when Jesse Waters was doing that report, I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredibly impactful because the plants that are there, imported for whatever purposes, are causing these fires to spread more rapidly. That was the report last night. But it's really devastating. And for anyone who's been to Hawaii and is seeing that, I'm sure it's even
We
harder
just
to watch.
hired a service manager last Friday who flew from Maui. So the name of that town translated into unrelenting sun, and they had no rain for over 4 months. So
Oh my goodness. Wow.
everything over there was
dry as a bone.
baked. And, the winds were 75, 80 miles an hour, so you pop an electrical wire loose over there, and it winds up in the brush. It's devastation.
Well, prayers for anybody who is there and that whole community, and hopefully they can rebuild because it is devastating to see. All right, X got that split.
John, it's your turn.
4 for the block.
He knows the lingo.
All right, I'm in. Here we go.
I hope you get as easy a statement as Hannah's last one.
That was impressive last time.
Not that I'm bitter or anything.
All right, Brad, you have stumbled into AI sound. This is a real quote from this week, but it's not the person saying it. I've run it through AI, so it's going to sound different. You have to tell me who said this.
Imagine if a long time, Roosevelt, and telephones came along saying we're not going to help invest in telephones. Come on, man.
That was the easy one.
Just one more time, just to be sure.
Just for
Imagine if a long time, Roosevelt, and telephones came along saying we're not going to help invest in telephones. Come on, man.
That's actually a pretty close voiceover.
Yeah. Okay. Come on, man. That's Joe Biden, not Joe. No, I'm serious. Joe Biden.
Absolutely.
Here's who really said it.
Imagine if a long time Roosevelt and telephones came along and said, we're not going to help invest in telephones. Come on, man.
What? Just one more time. Imagine if a long time Roosevelt and telephones came along saying we're not going to help invest in telephones.
Do you ever hear something he says and it's so dumb that you're like, I don't understand it. Maybe I'm the dumb one here? Like, you just
because
stop
you go,
and pause.
oh,
and
I'm
you're
sure
like,
he
"Ah."
knows.
And then at the end, you're like, that's not me.
No, that's not me.
Not me.
I think it's you.
Ooh, for the block.
Yeah, good move. All right, we got a real game going here.
Let's take a break. Let's pause right there. We have Vitae Foundation in studio with us playing this week's edition of X's and O's. If you would like to learn how you can support Vitae Foundation, go to prowomanaapproach.com. You can sign up for any of the events that they have coming up, and they have the best events in the area when it comes to spreading the message of life from all different angles. September 12th, it's a Tuesday. We have Leandria Vertomsky at the Regency Conference Center in O'Fallon, Illinois. Get registered for that by going to prowomanaapproach.com. And then Thursday, October 22nd in St. Charles, Missouri at the Bogey Hills Country Club, an evening with the Robertsons of the Duck Dynasty family. I'm very excited for that one as well. Go to prowomanaapproach.com to learn more. Keep it right here to find out who wins the Vitae Foundation edition of X's and O's. Back in 1 minute.
Victory in the Lord, I say. Victory.
You've been wanting to check out that news story that everyone's talking about, but you just can't find the time. That's why the On Deadline podcast is here. We pull together interviews from Odyssey's radio newsrooms across the country and add important context so you can really get the news fast. From wildfires and catastrophes at sea to new laws and presidential candidates, we'll have coast-to-coast coverage for you all in one place. Subscribe to On Deadline on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
Updating your home with James Hardie Siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to maximize your investment. The rising prices on vinyl siding has made Hardie Siding a great alternative. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie Shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem. And they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get it, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare
provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands to treat ED at up to 95% off. That's right, the same active ingredient as the brand name for 95% less. It's the same ED medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
There are many ways to listen. Most choose radio. But have you tried streaming? Download the Odyssey app and you can stream 97.1 with one touch. Or try it touchless by telling your smart speaker to play it.
I can't write one song that's not about you.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We appreciate you being with us here on 97.1 FM Talk. Right at the beginning of the show, we played for you the audio from Attorney General Merrick Garland talking about naming a special counsel in the Hunter Biden probe. David Weiss, now special counsel status. So you can rewind on the Odyssey app to about 12:10 or so to hear the Attorney General's words, a little bit of reaction from Jonathan Turley as well. Before we get back into the game, we have the Vitae Foundation here in studio with us. We have Vitae board member John Sinclair and the St. Louis marketing director at Vitae Foundation, Nick Johnson, facing off. Thank you both, gentlemen, for being in here today. We're grateful for it. Go to prowomanaapproach.com and you can learn about some events that are coming up that you can support Vitae Foundation, but also just great opportunities to spend an evening with fellow pro-life folks in the community. Before we get to the game, I want to give you guys both an opportunity to answer today's YouTube live chat poll. And we get 4 options on our YouTube poll each day. And so here's the question. Of these options, which is the best decade of life? Tomorrow, Brad's turning 40, so we thought we would ask this question, get some comments and reaction from our listeners. So, Nick, I'll ask you first. 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, which is the best decade of life that you've experienced so far?
I feel like some of that question and some of those options were a little leading, but I'm going to go as a 42-and-a-half-year-old. I think that's about 515 months if you're counting. Then the 40s would be the best decade. Brad specifically and others in the room. So
yeah,
your 40s. Right.
A lot to look forward to then, Hannah and me.
Hey.
What do you think, John? Of those decades, where do you feel like the prime is setting in?
And not the 1940s, but like when you're living in your 40s.
Are you sure?
You take it wherever you want.
I turned 66 on Tuesday.
Happy birthday.
My 30s and 40s are a little blurry now because my memory is shot.
Does that make your 60s better or worse?
That's all you got.
I'm working on it. It is definitely an uphill push, though. So if you're healthy and your kids are healthy and now grandkids healthy, as long as they don't run out of bourbon or anything, the world is the way it should be.
Just keeps getting better. That's great to hear. All right, let's get Todd back in the room on the drums, and I'll turn it back over to Ryan Wiggins to wrap up this edition of X's and O's.
Okay, we got a real game going here. We have 2 X's, 2 O's, so it's tied. Nobody seems to have any clear advantage. So good game. And it is Nick's turn with the X's.
And we are definitely past the friendly and fully into the face-off. So I'm going with square number 6 and Annie.
Okay, for the block.
All right, for the block, Annie. As of yesterday, there were only 4 GOP candidates who had qualified for the debate on August 23rd because they've met all 4 criteria, which are 1, status. Who knows what that means? You can just pick whatever you want. 2, polling. thresholds, 3 fundraising thresholds, and 4, they've signed the RNC pledge that they would support the eventual nominee. Only 4 people have done all 4 of those things. Name any one of those 4 candidates.
Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley. Nick, is she one of them?
So I have not seen this list, so I will not be 110% confident this time.
Neither am I, because there's a lot of stupid qualifications.
There are a lot of stupid
So
qualifications.
I'm just going to be very trusting here.
Boy.
Annie is a very trusting person.
I think Nikki. Here's my thought. Nikki Haley needs something, and it has to exist on the debate stage. So I'm thinking that she would benefit from being there.
And she would follow the rules.
Do you think so?
She would not be trying to break things that aren't meant to be broken.
I know it's not Trump.
Definitely not.
And if I have a 1 in 4 chance, I'm going to agree with Annie with only a slight little bit of a question mark or tailing off at the end there.
Well, then that shouldn't count.
And predetermined apologies if I'm wrong.
Yeah, this is for a tic-tac-toe. This is the kind of thing that can turn a game. You are both correct.
Yes!
Nice.
Yes.
Well, big sigh of relief.
Yes. It is Ramaswamy,
DeSantis,
Haley, and Doug Burgum.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
The North Dakota
You know
guy.
what? I was going to say, I know it's not him, but I couldn't remember what his name
Exactly.
was. So I didn't say it, and I would have been wrong.
Status. Okay.
Or the block.
So, yeah, those 4, and Haley was the obvious choice because she actually made news
That
yesterday.
was the news story,
Yep, about the fact that she would sign it, but with conditions. That was her thing. So
Plus,
there you go.
It's easier to say her last name than that Vivek Sawamaholi.
Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy. We have to get used to saying those things, John. We have to professionally practice before we come into the studio.
Well, unless he buys a car in Cape Girardeau, I don't have to practice at all.
Okay, so that is back to you then, John.
Going for 2, Annie.
Okay, my last one, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's do it.
Number 2, did you say?
Yes.
Okay. Annie, President Trump may or may not debate in the first GOP contest on August 23rd in Milwaukee. Meanwhile, the RNC has announced the location of the second debate to the surprise of some. It's in which state?
The second debate?
The second debate. The first one's in Milwaukee. That's coming up in less than 2 weeks. We'll be at Dave & Buster's that night. Come and join us.
I don't know the answer to this question.
What if I do?
Then
you're
wait
in
and
good shape.
hear and see if you agree or disagree. Because
I'm
you'll
going to
know.
say Wisconsin again. I don't know.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire? Disagree.
So you disagree.
Disagree.
You are correct,
Good for
and you're
you.
also incorrect because it's not New Hampshire, but you are right. You get
Where is
square.
it?
It's
Well,
at
I
the
didn't-
Reagan Library in California.
California.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give Nick a real answer.
Well, you got it anyway, so it
That's
doesn't
great.
matter.
You're still right, even if you were wrong.
right.
All right.
Nick, back to you.
All right, so
I'm off
we're
the
down
table.
to 2 choices.
Yep.
So
We got
I'm gonna
1, 2, 3
go
squares left.
Back to Brad with square number 8, please.
All right. I am finished after this one.
Okay. It's all going to be on Hannah after
Oh,
this.
great.
Number 8. After saying this candidate is, quote, eating right now and can't be bothered, unquote, Trump went on the defense of him, saying this.
Sir, please do not call him a fat pig. That's very disrespectful. Don't call him. See, I'm trying to be nice. Don't call him a fat pig. You can't do it.
So he was defending him right after saying he can't be there.
It's
because
very
he's
generous
eating.
of him.
What a guy.
What a guy. He is, of course, talking about Chris Christie. So that's not the question. How many years was Christie governor of New Jersey?
Ooh.
This is the second hardest question in
Yeah,
you.
that's pretty hard.
This one's tough.
Now, keep in mind, terms are 4 years, so you're limited to how many it could be.
Yeah. Multiples of 4.
Multiples of 4, that's correct. So how many terms really is what you're asking me to
Oh,
answer.
gosh. He made a lot of waves, but it's New Jersey, but he was a Republican. So I'm just going to say 4 years, 1 term.
1 term, 4 years.
I don't know, so I'm going to disagree.
Nick, you are correct. It was 8. It was 2 terms. You don't know, so you're going to disagree. That was a good move.
I was hoping he'd go with an odd number or even just say like 1.
No, it was a multiple of 4.
That's something I would have done. Not Brad.
On purpose or by accident.
Hannah is giving away a little bit of her strategy, the way she does things, which is important because she's the only one left on the board now to answer these final 2 questions, and we have a bona fide tie.
No tic-tac-toe?
No tic-tac-toes.
3-3?
Now, we do have the opportunity for
4-3.
1. Yeah, it's 4-3 right now. So if it's a tie, then it goes to total number of squares. But X could get a tic-tac-toe here. So where are you going to go, John?
Oh, wow. I don't know. How about 9?
Now, it's all going to ride on this because if you don't get it right, then the tic-tac-toe goes to Nick, and he's going to win the game. So you got to get this one, Hannah.
We drove separately, just in case.
Good. Good. Okay. Number 9, you have stumbled into artificial intelligence, Hannah.
Okay.
This is a real quote from the week. But it's not going to sound like the person who said it. Tell me who said this.
The Grand Canyon, one of the Earth's 9 wonders. Wonders of the world. Literally, think of that.
Now,
man.
I'll give you a second. I'm going to play it one more time because I know he's got an accent there. The AI does.
The Grand Canyon, one of the Earth's 9 wonders. Wonders of the world. Literally, think of that.
The Grand Canyon.
Starts off very David Attenborough.
Does, doesn't it?
And then it's like, he is more well-spoken than that.
Ooh, I have
Grand
2 people
Canyon.
in my mind. I'm going to say...
They're probably both leaders of the free world.
One of the Earth's 9 wonders.
I'm going to say Joe Biden said that.
Absolutely.
Kamala Harris.
Here's who really said it.
Grand Canyon,
Oh,
one
was
of the Earth's 9 wonders.
That groan wasn't for you. It was for America.
It was. You're exactly right. It was for us.
It was for all of us in this room.
9
Okay.
wonders.
Like I said, the 8th wonder of the world is how he is the president of the United
Even
States.
the 7 wonders are not natural. They're man-made. So, okay.
So we're at 4-4.
Or alien made.
All right, last
Either.
question.
This is for
Hannah. Hannah.
This is for everything. I love it when it comes down to the last square. It's
And
so
Hannah.
fun.
It's always me that it comes down to.
Is Nick going to
Do
win
I have to
because of
say it out
Hannah,
loud?
or is Nick going to lose because of Hannah? Let's wait and see.
Don't
Yeah.
think of it that way.
Either way,
Nick's
somebody's
gonna win
losing.
because he started first.
I've
He
got to
gets
go
more
first.
up.
Is it going to be
advance.
Nick is going to win because of Hannah, or John is going to win because of Hannah?
Oh,
we
stop
go.
with your
Somebody's
positive.
going to lose.
Positive affirmation. Think positively here, Hannah.
Okay. I'm sweating.
Number 3.
I'm sweating.
I'm assuming you want to go with number 3.
Number 3?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Good
And I'm assuming you want to go with Hannah?
Hannah.
Okay.
Hannah 3. 3 Hannah.
3 Hannah. Hannah, guess what? You have
Of course.
stumbled into AI again.
If this is the 3rd Joe Biden AI clip, I'm going to make Todd do your job next week.
Let's see.
Okay. As I just said, this is not going to be the sound of the actual person saying it. This has been run through AI. So I'm going to play it. Tell me who said this.
I'm the only candidate who can make you this promise. I will prevent World War III. I'll prevent it. Not gonna happen.
Ooh. That's
Yeah.
a hard one.
It's not totally obvious. But listen. Listen once again. See if you can hear anything else on the second try.
I'm the only candidate who can make you this promise. I will prevent World War III. I'll prevent it. Not gonna happen.
SpongeBob said that.
SpongeBob.
Oh,
She
throw
threw
in
the
the game.
Totally tanked.
Unreal.
Does that mean we have to draw SpongeBob on the board?
Yeah.
Well, agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Here's who said it.
And I'm the only
Yeah.
candidate who can make you this promise. I will prevent World War III. I'll prevent it. Not going to happen.
It's the phrases at the end that
DJT.
kind of give it away.
Yeah.
I'll prevent it. Not going to happen.
I love it. It's a tie and a SpongeBob.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is good. All right. Thank you, Vitae
He's got
Foundation.
square pants.
John and Nick, thank you for being in here this week. I love being a partner with the Vitae Foundation, the amazing work that you're doing to help women and save lives of babies across the country is fantastic. I'm happy to be a part of it. Go to prowomanaapproach.com and see the Tuesday, September 12th event in O'Fallon, Illinois, and the Thursday, October 26th event in St. Charles, Missouri. Get your tickets now. I would love to see you there and love to support the Vitae Foundation with you. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks, Annie.
Great to have you. Let's take a quick break. A little more acknowledgement of Brad Range when we come back on his 40th birthday eve.
The feeling I'm missing, you know that I hate to admit it, but everything means nothing if I can't have you. I can't write one song that's not about you. Can't drink without thinking about you.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
If I can't have you, I can't write one.
Come to the Enchanted Attic. Come to the Enchanted Attic. Come to the Enchanted Attic, and the mysteries of life shall be revealed. Gaze into a crystal ball to see your future. Breathe in the exotic fragrances of incense, candles, and essential oils. Adorn your body with jewelry encrusted with mystical gemstones from around the world. Why, many who enter the magical realm of the Enchanted Attic feel as though they have entered another dimension in time and space. But actually, in reality, they have just entered 304 South Main Street in historic St. Charles, home of the famous Enchanted Attic. This is Diane, and you need to come to the Enchanted Attic. It's mystical, magical, and a whole lot of fun. Open every day, free gift with purchase. You'll love this store.
Attention taxpayers, ready for some bad news? With $80 billion in new funding from Congress, the IRS has launched their most aggressive hiring campaign ever to ramp up enforcement. If you're ignoring your taxes, don't delay another minute because your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could already be at risk. Now, here's the good news. Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, can get to work immediately, helping to protect you from the IRS. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, their tax attorneys and licensed professionals are experts at resolving tax problems. Let them help determine if you qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative or other powerful IRS tax assistance programs. Take control. Call Optima Tax Relief now for a free consultation.
Call 800-987-6122. 800-987-6122. 800-987-6122.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Tune in to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki created Neovitin 15 years ago to help support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Since then, Neovitin has helped thousands of people support their daily nutrition with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend. If you're ready to join many St. Louisans in supporting their nutrition, give Neovitin a try. You can find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
This weekend only, Elite Spa Sales is back with their massive factory direct hot tub and swim spa sale. Huge savings, factory incentives, immediate delivery. Everything must go. Hurry, the clock is ticking. Only at 2 Men in a Spa, Dolly and Arnold. Sale ends Sunday. EliteSpaSales.com.
Tomorrow is Brad's birthday. Can you believe it? We want to know. Check out our YouTube live chat poll. The question is not that. It's of these options, which is the best decade of life? 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s? We'll let you know the results of that poll in just a couple minutes here. It is 2:40. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Should you put ketchup on a hot dog? I say yes. Sue says no. It's going to court with Judge Jane at 5:07, plus a Reardon Roundtable at 3.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
It's 4 o'clock and we're in trouble deep. Wake up, please, Susie. Wake up, please, Susie.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Friday afternoon, you're wrapping things up. So are we here on the Annie Frey Show. The Mark Breeden Show is going to start here in just 20 minutes or so. So keep it right here on 97.1. We've been acknowledging and celebrating Brad's birthday all day today. Turns 40 tomorrow, and we're very excited about it. The YouTube live chat poll for today, of these options, which is the best decade of life? 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s? I'm going to read a couple of comments here before we give Brad a few surprises that we have in store for him. Paul says, I'm in my 40s now, and I'm going to be a grandpa for the first time in December, so that is why I'm saying 40s. Have you thought about the fact that someday you might be a grandpa?
I mean, in theory, but not in reality.
It's
No.
kind of crazy. But then you hear, I mean, you obviously have children, which means, Mr. Wiggins and Mrs. Wiggins or grandma and grandpa. When you hear them talk about what it's like to become a grandma and grandpa,
I hear that it's pretty positive.
it seems all positive.
Yeah.
And so that is something to look forward to. I guess we're at the stage in life, Brad, where that's one of the keys.
You get to do the enjoyable part
Yeah.
of just hanging out, doing some babysitting, and the fun stuff, and you don't have to do as much of the responsible
Get
part.
them all hyped up on sugar and all the fun stuff, and then send them home.
My son is 13 and a half years old, and I was doing the math recently because my grandmother lived till she was 95 years old, and she had so many great grandkids. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder, how long would it be realistically? Because I had Charlie when I was 25 years old. I was thinking, I did the math, how young will my parents be when they first become a grandparent? And I did the math and everything. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. They're going to be young. They're going to be able to enjoy that. And then maybe 10 minutes later after thinking that thought, I realized that would qualify me to be a grandma. I was like, oh, that could be sooner. Being 13, he's already halfway to the age that I was when I had my first kid. And then it took my breath away to think that I was that close to the potential of being a grandmother.
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy.
I've not done that math, and I don't want to, and I won't, and I never will.
Vicky says, I chose 50s. Being 65 isn't too bad either. Larry said, I choose 30s. At that age, you have gained some wisdom and start making better decisions that will benefit you later in life. Jackie says, my favorite decade has been my 30s. Carlo says, I chose 20s. I'm 40, and the 20s were when you discover the adult world and its wonders, both good and bad. 30s have the benefit of building up on the 20s and beyond, work on the decade before. What do you think, Brian? Where are you at on these?
Honest answer is that I'd have to just, because you have to pick one, I pick the 40s because that's where I am, because I am enjoying life more and more and more with every year that passes. And I hope that's the case for the rest of my life. That's a great trajectory to be on. But I will say that when I was in my late teens and 20s, basically going into college, I remember, and I don't know if this is something that guys say to guys or if it was just that age or just me. I don't know. But I'd like to know from you, Brad and Annie. At that age of late high school, college, a lot of people said to me, and it was flippant. It was never anything like take my life advice. It was always just that's the best age right there. And I don't know if it was because I worked at golf courses around guys, they're just going, that's the age where they would say things that they were almost reminiscing from that time in their life. And I internalized that at the time and thought, man, if this is the best time of life, I don't like that idea because that means this is it. I got to enjoy.
Yeah.
It's like hedonistic almost. Like you got to enjoy this to the full right now. And my experience in life has been very different than that.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed getting older and moving past those things. So I'm glad about that.
I think a lot of that has to do with what you place your values on. And if what you're valuing in later in life is still what you valued when you were in high school, or if that's where you peaked, it says a lot about your value system. If you value, hey, having a family, growing older and wisdom and raising this family and helping all these things go along, if you view that as a positive, as a great thing, then it becomes victory in what you do. And it's not the burden that some of these other guys like, oh, yeah, you were young, you could you do whatever you wanted. You didn't have to worry about getting kids to whatever. The kids are the joy in life, right? Right?
I think it says a lot. I think what you're saying is true because the values of the guys saying this, it wasn't necessarily like people I was close to. It was just random comments from people I didn't even remember who they were saying, man, I wish I could have that back. And I'm glad that I've grown older enough that I don't say that to younger guys anymore.
Yeah.
Because it is about your values.
Yeah, I think it's something that is a wisdom that comes with age as you're experiencing it. All right, we're going to try to do something here, and hopefully this works. We have some birthday greetings that we're going to share for Brad from folks. If you want to join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to see a couple of these videos. Brad doesn't know anything about them. I've been trying to make this work.
This is great.
Yeah, so first...
Brad, Mark here. I just want to wish you a happy birthday. I understand you're turning 40 tomorrow. The good news is the weather's going to be nice, so you can get outside and golf. The bad news is, dude, it's all downhill from here.
Oh, like I just said.
Take that big Bertha and knock the hell out of it. Happy birthday.
All right, that's funny. Mark kind of weighing in specifically there on the things
and
that
obviously
we've been
he
talking
recorded that probably months ago, right?
Yes, 100% months ago. So, I mean, Mark, we're kind of, I don't know how to say this. I was going to say we're the young show on the station, but I don't mean, I
mean, by age,
yes.
like factually, that's true.
Do you think that your values, Brad, as you have moved in age from your 20s to your 30s to 40s, have they changed, or have you refined them, or have they gotten stronger?
They have definitely changed. There's a verse in the Bible where it talks about Jesus growing up, and it says that Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and favor with God and favor with man. And I can't help but think that my values, the good ones have stayed and been refined, and the bad ones have been burnt away. So it's really, I would say that my values have changed as I've gotten older.
We've got some birthday cupcakes for you and 2 candles that say 40, but Hannah broke the 4, so now it says 10.
That's probably accurate about my heart.
10 cupcakes.
10 at heart.
Take that, values.
Instead of singing happy birthday to you, here's a message from our dear friend, Digital Rob. Let's listen in here.
Brother Brad, it's Rob Kramer. I wanted to wish you a very happy early birthday. I wish I was there to wish you a happy birthday in person. I was actually thinking about you the other day in all seriousness about how cool and uncommon it was that you heard about an opening on the Annie Frey show as a listener and a super fan, threw your hat in the ring with hardly any experience or background whatsoever. And when you got the job, really dove in head first and took it head on. It's a testament to the kind of person that you are. And I can't imagine the Annie Frey show, 97.1 or Odyssey St. Louis without you. Always got a smile on your face, always willing to help, and proud and honored to call you a friend. I hope you have an amazing birthday weekend. Hopefully, everybody doesn't give you too much crap. Slightly deserved. And I can't wait to see you again soon, buddy. Happy birthday again.
So Digital Rob wanted to send a happy birthday message. That's kind of cool.
Hey,
Are you super proud? Are you a proud boy?
A little bit.
What? Here is another one from a friend of the show, Jamie Lissow, sent a happy birthday message for Brad. If you're watching, you can see this video here on the Annie Frey YouTube stream, if I can get it to play. I mean, it was really cool to be able to send some of these requests and get these people to...
Hey, Brad, what's up? It's Jamie Lissow. I want to say happy 40th birthday. My friend, you don't look a day over 50. I hope you have a great birthday, and I'll see you next time when I'm on Annie's show.
That's pretty cool of him.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool.
What do you want to say about the YouTube live chat poll, Hannah? Of these options, which is the best decade of life? You are in your very early 20s, but when you think about your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, how does that hit you while you're at the front end of that?
I have a lot to look forward to is how I look at it. If I had to pick which decade I would enjoy the most, I would have to say probably my 30s. You know what? 40s. 30s are still kind of new, navigating. If I want to start a family, that'll probably be around that time. So 40s, I feel like I'll be settling a little more, and I'll get to just slow down and enjoy it. I hope.
Well, here is the last one, and I'm really excited about this. Brad, on your birthday.
Brad Raines, this is Wayne Oak.
Oh, no way.
But I hear you're turning 40, and I want to welcome you into the 40-year-old club, buddy. Happy birthday. We love KMOX. We love what the work's doing. So keep it up. Happy birthday.
I love it. That's amazing.
I was going to edit the KMOX part out because we asked our friends over at KMOX if they would do it. And I was like, no, it's fine. KMOX is our sister station if you don't know it. But Adam Wainwright, if you want to listen.
Brad Raines, this is Wayne Oak. We're here in Tampa, but I hear you're turning 40, and I want to welcome you into the 40-year-old club, buddy. Happy birthday. We love KMOX. We love what the work's doing. So keep it up. Happy birthday.
So that was really cool.
Awesome.
That was a cameo that cost us $700.
It was not a cameo. I had that idea earlier in the week, and they made it happen for us over at KMOX.
So cool. Can I get a copy of that, please?
Yeah, you can
all of
have a
them.
copy
Just
of
send
it.
them all to me because those are awesome.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Brad.
Thank you. I wanted to say thank you to everybody who's been wishing me happy birthday on the stream and everything like that. I've been watching, I've been reading those, and really, I'm just taken aback. I have heard so many kind words and so many nice things that it's really humbling. And thank you guys all for wishing me happy birthday. I appreciate that.
Well, it's a pleasure, and it's easy to do because, I mean, Ryan and I give Brad crap a lot for being, like, super good, wouldn't you say?
Actually, yeah, I don't know how to say that better.
You say you guys call me a Boy Scout all the time. I don't get it.
I mean, but it's a genuine thing. I think this is something that I heard a lot at the Heritage Foundation event earlier in the week when we were out at Tapawingo Golf Course, and Jim Carafano and Genevieve Wood and Hans von Spakovsky were in the studio with us, and then, of course, at the event. And the people who would come up and talk to us, Ryan and I were standing next to each other, and the way people come up and tell you that they enjoy you is funny.
You know what's really fun, too, is when people don't know who you are.
Oh, that was
know
fun.
They know that we're from a show, but they don't know which one's which or which show. And then messing with them and telling them that usually I tell them I'm Annie Frey.
Always do.
You have a face for radio, Annie Frey.
Yeah.
But it was great to meet so many of you this week. But people will come up and they ask about how we joke with each other. And there's a lot of jest, of course, that comes on. But we are friends and we do enjoy each other. And it is, I'm saying this in all sincerity. And then when I get done, Ryan will take it off the rails. But when we get to come together and have these conversations about really important events, every day we get to stay on top of the news and bring to you information and, you know, our thoughts and opinions and try to include as much of you in this show as we possibly can. It's really great to do it with each other. And I am honored to be able to do this show with Ryan and with Hannah and Brad, like literally going back to what Rob said. I didn't know he was going to say any of that. But the truth is that this show needed a producer, and I wanted somebody who was right for the show, who could learn the radio stuff. Ryan, you've been in the business long enough to understand the difference between knowing the mechanics of how to make a radio show happen, but to be able to come into a situation like this and really contribute in a way. I mean, we have had a front row seat of watching Brad just be like, yeah, I'll do radio.
It's actually a really good example of the kind of thing that we talk about pretty regularly, that you can have all the technical training, but the most important thing about not just a job, but definitely applies to jobs, but life in general, is how are you going to approach it? You know, what kind of attitude you're going to have coming in? And you do have to have some skills, you know, like even if somebody could come in with a whole lot of great attitude and not be able to do what you've done. So you do have to have skills, but to separate you from others, it was, this guy's really passionate about not only the show, but about the issues we talk about on this show. Very, very engaged and loves to get into the detail and think deeply about these issues that we're talking about on a regular basis. And I think that was part of the reason that you fit so well. And the other was just coming in with a willingness to learn.
Yeah.
You're almost 40 years old. There aren't a lot of people
Getting real close.
Yeah. There aren't a lot of people that come in at the age, you know, that's the thing that people come in younger to do. I've had to learn that in my life, coming into new places later in life and saying, you know what, I have to relearn. I have to be open to learn and just kind of be a blank slate again and come into something. And you've done that well.
And you can't take yourself too seriously because when you're learning something new, you're going to screw up.
Yeah. Well, and before I read the poll results here for today's poll, I will add to this that, you know, we are people of faith, and I talk about my Christian faith quite a bit. When the producer position was open for this show, it was a very difficult, Ryan had a front row seat to that too. It was a very difficult time for me specifically and for the future of the show. It's just this big, huge question mark. And I swear that I, in that moment, knew I didn't have the immediate answer for it, but I prayed that God would show me what to do next. And to honestly, the prayer that I've learned in my older age, if I'm getting into that, is to not pray for the answer, but to pray for peace and the solution. And that was the night I said, what about Brad? And I was watching For Love of the Game with Kevin Costner, trying to distract my mind from the stress that I was under. And I said that to my husband, and he goes, I think that could work. And I had an answer, and Brad, you were that answer, and I'm always grateful for you. I always remember that. The answer, or the YouTube live chat poll, not to be a downer here, but of these options, which is the best decade of life? 18% said 20s. Sorry, Hannah. But the future is bright. 19% said 40s. 27% said 50s. And Brad, I hate to say this, but 35% said the 30s. But the 40s is in third place, not last place.
Right.
We're grateful for you being here with us today on this show. Happy birthday to Brad. I hope you have a fantastic week and you're celebrated as you should be. Keep it right here, The Mark Reardon Show. Up next.
So pour another glass of that rock and roll. Turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not a American sweetheart.
This is a special alert to all Americans.